beta is fantastic. It's where he has like this cannon that is primary fire, shoots like energy grenades, and you build like energy as you hit dinosaurs. And once you're like at a certain threshold or maxed out the gauge, you hold down the trigger and he shoots like a death beam.
Hell yeah.
You hit dinosaurs.
All right.
While we get computers loaded, I can go over our short recap from last week. Let's see, where are my notes? Ah, yes. So, as we picked up last session, you all had found yourself deep within the Vale waters, this swamp at the borders of Broken Vale and the Kingdom of the Summer Court, their territory. Sent in here to recover a Celestial Lotus as a favor to Archie, your friendly neighborhood archfey. You found yourself face to face with a 30 or so foot tall grandmother hag, and at the beginning of last session, we began negotiations where, following the visceral and not soundless, but screamless devouring of Marianne, you all began to talk with the grandmother about what she wanted in exchange for one of her celestial lotuses. Initially, you offered her knowledge of the future, which seemed to entice her somewhat, or at least some part of her, but ultimately she found herself not wanting to have that knowledge, though with the continued baiting of it, she found herself too curious to abstain any further and reached into Nicholas's mind and took what she needed. You were rightfully upset and called her a thief, which she countered that you had broken one of her toys and that we were pretty much fair now. Negotiations continued, where she stated that what she wanted in return for as many of the Celestial Lotuses as you could carry is one of your allies, Ken or Mia. For the rest of their lives, they would stay here with the grandmother, and the rest of you could take the Lotuses and leave. Alternatively, she could send you back where you came from for the same offer. Ken or Mia stays, everybody else goes. You guys didn't really want to do that, and I understand that.
Imagine why.
I can't imagine why. So we ended up coming up with a second offer, which was one of your divine artifacts in exchange for one of these lotuses. Either justice, truth, freedom, or the staff that Mia has been carrying. Again, you guys really didn't want to give any of that up. But you also really didn't want to have to fight her because she was big and scary and gross, and you just didn't want to have to do that if you didn't have to. Knowing where the lotuses were, however, you had a little bit of foreknowledge. Throughout this conversation, Nicholas had reached out with a sending to Mistra to run a couple things by her, which seemed to upset the grandmother as he began to cast magic, but a well enough roll from Nicholas assuaged her frustrations in that moment, and the spell was completed. The conversations, 25-word conversation had, and your negotiations continued. However, when Mia attempted to subtle spell a vortex warp, sending one of you beyond the range of the grandmother's hovels and to where the celestial lotuses are, she didn't like that, and that was the end of negotiations, as Mia attempted to twist the very nature of magic around her in order to cast a spell without showing any signs of casting a spell. The grandmother lashed out with a baleful gaze, confused and hurt the shit out of Mia, and the rest of the party jumped into battle. Another harrowing encounter with a deadly and disgusting foe. But you guys ended up coming out on top after Mia had finally shaken her confusion and being powered up by the ley lines cast by Nicholas. That was a 10th level chain lightning? I can't remember what it was.
It maxed out at 9.
Okay, 9th level chain lightning out to the grandmother herself, arcing up and then coming right back down, empowered by the enhanced magics that Nicholas had placed, you destroyed and dissipated the grandmother back into the swamps around you and found yourselves in a very, very quiet hovel. You continued down the path into the small pond where the celestial lotuses floated beneath the massive willow tree with these starlight globules of, you couldn't even really tell whether they were a type of like mucus or a fungus that was in like a webbing or something, but they seemed to hang like teardrops from the branches of this willow. You guys scooped up about 10 of the celestial lotuses, storing them away for your future use and knowing that you would have to deliver one to Archie. You guys then used the mushrooms as a focus to teleport your way back to the entrance of the Vale Water just to check in on Avis and Eamon to see how they were doing. And unfortunately, while the grandmother had been destroyed, their minds were still broken and healing. And while they were glad to see that you had returned, it wasn't as big a victory as you'd been hoping for. You guys then cast a second teleport spell, focusing instead on the Morning Wood, the tavern that you had left Archie in within Sarnau. And even though you had no focus to use this time, you still managed to teleport yourselves right in there, appearing within the tavern itself, where you had previously destroyed a table that hadn't been replaced yet, and once again kind of shocking the patrons. Archie, surprised to see you return so soon, invited you over. You guys sat down and explained everything that had happened, delivering the celestial lotus to him and informing him of the grandmother's demise. He passed the lotus over to Fed to be prepared into a tea, and you guys asked what was so special about it. He began to tell you about the kind of euphoric divine aspects that the tea had, and you incentivized him not to partake too much, as it is suspected to have addictive qualities, shown by the research that Nicholas had found within the Hag's hovel, this journal left by one of them, written in long, long ago. Concluding your talks about the Lotus with Archie, he began to tell you about what he really needed help with. A heist, where he intended to steal Titania's fairy flag, this artifact of each of the courts where they keep it secret and safe, a powerful magical heirloom that he would really like to take from her because he thinks it would embarrass the crap out of her. And he really thinks that she needs to be taken down a peg. He explained that among the Archfey, they try not to kill each other, as it doesn't really serve any end purpose, and it's more of a lowering each other's standing within the social hierarchy of the Feywild. He informed you of a gala that was going to be taking place in 5 days' time, and he was inviting you to accompany him to use it as a means to get into the castle in Astrazalian, the city where this would be taking place. He implored you guys to get some nicer digs, especially those who wished to attend the ball proper with him, and especially asked for Ken and Mia to make sure that they had something that would be eye-catching. Kind of went over the basics of it, that we'd be here in Sarnau for another 2 days, and then we'd be leaving, and you guys, having asked what questions and gotten what answers you could, retired that night to rest up and prepare for your next day of preparation here in Sarnau. You awoke, trained, did what training you could within the small rooms upstairs, and came downstairs to see a small boy kind of speaking with Archie, and as he shooed the boy out the front door, he ran out into the city proper. You guys sat down and began asking him about the other Archfey here within the Feywild, predominantly Bastille, if he knew him or was aware of him, and kind of like the nature of the relationships within the Fey and how they don't Bastille to Tanya. They are not necessarily names as much as they are titles inherited and then kind of appropriated as names. Trying to think if there were any other pertinent questions that I'm forgetting. But
He asked about his son, or Bastille's son, like
Bastille's
Thorn.
son. Yes, you did. You did ask about Thorn, as you had met Thorn in the future. Most of the characters, which he was aware that Bastille had a son. But dang, I really wish I had remembered exactly what he said. Concluding your conversation with him, you guys stepped out into the city. He gave you instructions or directions on how to find a tailor within the city that he trusted at a place called So Right, and pretty much set you guys free for the day. You went out into the town, kind of stepped out along the path that you originally took out to the Veilwater, where you found a nice clearing where Ken could master his defensive fighting style, and you guys kind of took a short break while Ken worked through that, and that was where we left off last week. So as you guys pick up here outside the village of Sarnau within Brokenstone Vale, Ken, having now felt completely confident that the defenses within his fighting style have been shored up, feeling a little bit more secured. What is the plan for today?
You pick which one you wanted to do next, Ken. I know you were between a couple of them. Muted.
Is he muted?
Hello.
Ken Scalon, you're muted.
Oh no.
Yeah, I am. Sorry. Oh, as I was saying, the next feat I have decided to train up for is Gift of the Metallic Dragon.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I know that one was pretty cool.
Yeah, but I believe it will be time to go check out the store Archie recommended to get fitted for our formal attire.
Yes.
All right. Is everybody going, or?
I guess so. I don't see why not. If everybody wants to go.
Like, to the gala or to the store?
No, I figured everybody was going to the gala, but to the store.
If everybody's
to get
going
clothes.
to the gala, then we have to go to the store to get clothes.
We all have to be fancy.
Yes, you all have to be fancy.
That's fair.
As you dust yourself off, Ken, and kind of pick up what equipment that you needed to take out with you, you guys step back into the city, walking through the not busy streets, but populated streets of this town, passing mostly what look like half-elven or elven, just people going about their daily lives. You follow the instructions before coming up to what looks like a small stone house, no more than 30 feet wide. It looks more like a home from the outside than a store, but you can see the small sign kind of dangling in front of it with the needle and thread on it that says "So Right," with "So" spelled S-E-W, and a little wooden placard on the front door that has "Open" written on it in Common, as well as a few other languages, Sylvan and Elvish as well.
I guess we made it. I guess we go ahead and hop inside.
Okay. Guys, crack open the front door, and you can see this room in front of you, about 30 feet long, maybe 15 wide. Small gnomish woman with gray skin and red hair pulled up into a bun, kind of just working away at a mannequin. And these two, they can't be more than 10 inches long, maybe a foot long. These two small puppies wrestling in the middle of the room. And as you guys open the door and kind of walk in, the two puppies who have been playing look up at the first of you. I'm guessing it's like this. Look over, stop playing, and immediately run towards Mia as the door is open. As they... Do you do anything? I don't have tokens for the puppies, but...
Yeah. I guess she kind of just freezes then in the doorway, not sure what to do because they're creatures, but
Mia, what's wrong?
Annalise, what's wrong?
I'm going to just use a Todd token for right now because they're about Todd size. But just... Oh, no!
Oh, God.
yeah.
That is everything that was on my clipboard. That's not what I wanted.
Oh no, the lady's gone.
The lady.
Oh god, everybody's gone.
Dang it. Give me a second. I had it all ready. It's so good. But so you freeze up, essentially, as they run towards you.
And turns like a little bit to Aerith, who piped up first. Just, are they going to attack me? Is it gonna hurt?
No, they're harmless. Like reach down your hand so that they can sniff your hand, and then if they're friendly, they'll just lick your hand very gently.
Well, as they run at you and you tell Mia that they're friendly, you don't have a lot of time as they close the distance pretty quickly. They leap towards you, and as you hear this skittering of paws across the ground, the gnomish woman turns around and goes, "Oh, wait, no, close the door, close the door, close the door!" And they leap in the air and vanish. And then you hear tick, 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 the hitting of paws on cobblestone behind you and happy yelping, and you turn around and they're about 30 feet behind you.
I twin spell vortex warp both of them back into the house.
Absolutely. All right,
They can make con saves.
It's a natural 1 and a 6. As you see these two puppies, you reach for your staff, you smack it on the ground, you kind of twist magic around you, and as the vortex warp spell goes out, splits in half, and lowers into both of them, and you hear shoop shoop yep, doop, doop, and you plop them right back down onto the rug in the middle of the room. They kind of like hit the ground and look around, very confused. What are you guys doing?
I push Annalise in.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go ahead and hop inside, and then get everyone in there and shut the door.
Close it.
She looks over at you and she looks down at the puppies that just like reappeared, and she takes a needle out of her mouth and goes, "Oh, thank you. That was exciting. Give me 1 second." She finishes like just tucking a few needles away in what she's working on, and she steps down off of a little stool in front of me and goes, "Well, hello. Welcome to So Right. What can I do for you today?"
Hello. We're adventurers here on Archie's recommendation. We're going with him to the gala in a couple of days, and he sent us this way to get fitted for formal attire.
I see. Okay. For the gala. All right. For all 5 of you?
Preferably,
Correct.
yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Should be able to. Sal, get out here! What? No, I'm sleeping. Sal, we got a lot of customers. I need help. Get out here. Fine. You hear the voice kind of coming from this darker space back here, this other room, and as the curtains pull back, another jolly-looking gnome steps out into the kind of small hovel of a room. Though it's long, the roof is lower than you would expect. It's only about 7 feet. So for some of you, you're kind of having to like hunch down a little bit to not have, the ceiling right there against the top of your head. And he kind of looks over the group.
Or have the horns, or have my horns like clipping the ceiling.
Right, scraping against it. He looks over the group and goes, "Oh, well, that is a lot more than I thought we had on our plate today. Okay, what are we doing?" And he looks over at her and she goes, "Well, they're going to the gala that, did you say Archie?" Archie.
Yes.
Yeah, Archie. Has invited them to. She gives him just like a long look, and he goes, "Right, right. Oh, got it. Okay, so fancy clothes. Good. Oh, right. We can do that. Do you have any preferences?" And she kind of looks over the rest of the group and eyes each of you up wearily, not wearily, but like with calculating eyes, just kind of like sizing you each up.
Well, I've always been a craftsman pretty much all my life, so this will be a first time for me. So, I guess something that'll be comfortable, form-fitting, uh, something I guess something to match my heritage, so to speak. And he hand from horns all the way down.
She
I don't
takes.
know.
Mhm.
Like, you know how people like waves from head to toe, like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah,
Them
yeah.
sound.
He just gestured to all of me.
She kind
Yeah.
of like looks you up and down and goes, "Right, right. Some sort of half dragon or draconic heritage. Hmm, interesting. All right, I think we have a fabric that should work. We'll have to make some small alterations, but it's what we're good at. Let's get you sized up. You said a little bit more form-fitting, right? So we're gonna have to make these a little bit. Come on over here." And she kind of like grabs you by the hand and with more force than you were expecting, drags you over. And she goes, "Pip, Sam, out of here. Go upstairs." And they kind of look up at her from the ground, and they both stare with these like big, vibrant blue eyes, and they open their mouths and pant happily, and then disappear. Poof, poof.
I was gonna say, madam, if it's all right, I have a couple of children myself that can play with for the time being. You know, keep them occupied.
Oh, I mean, is it anything that could help them burn off some energy? They really only get each other, and oh, yeah, blink dogs.
Okay. Yeah.
Dogs.
Kennel whistle, and out pop the 7 kiddos.
All right. Now, did you have the armor, or were they just kind of following you in a menagerie through the city?
Yeah, no, I took it off. So
Okay.
they were probably just following me around.
All right. So as you whistle, there is a like scrabbling noise at the front door. Nicholas, you're the closest one. You can hear it like right behind you.
Let them in.
Oh,
Do you let them in?
Kyle.
Kyle.
Sorry, I just got a text.
Oh, you're good.
No. Yes. I don't know.
No.
Would you like them inside? I'm just gonna leave them out. I just
let them in.
Access denied.
Let my kiddos in so they can play with the puppies.
All right, fine.
Open the door, and the scrabbling stops as 3 of them kind of onto the ground right next to you, and they look at each other with excitement and confusion. They look over at Ken with an anticipation for instruction as you had whistled for them.
All right, kiddos. I gotta go get fitted for an outfit. If you'd be so kind, go play with the lady's small children over there. He points at the puppies.
Okay.
Be like nice. I should be done soonish rather than later.
As we'll say the puppies haven't quite blinked away yet, as they look over towards the new shiny friends that just came in. They run over into that direction, and she kind of like she looks at you, Ken. How well behaved are your boys? Do you think we could get them back if I try not to let them leave the house?
Oh yeah, no, I'll just keep them just locked in here. So
Okay.
you ain't to worry about giving them out.
Obviously they go out. I kind of need to be with them, you know.
How do you
Teleport.
walk something that teleports, and then if you have it like on a leash, and wouldn't it just teleport out?
With great amusement, my dear. As the one named Sal looks up at you, answering your question. It's quite fun. I love having Blake dogs as puppies. They are wonderful companions. As the dogs run over and kind of meet up with the small dragon children that all turn into like this big ball of wrestling of flashing magic and metal that eventually, as the blink dogs blink upstairs to a it's like a bedroom or a upstairs apartment, you can hear the scrabbling of their paws, and as all of the dragon children like hit the ground and look around for their friends, their noses go into the air and their wings kind of fly out, and they climb up the ladder and into the upstairs apartment, and all you guys really hear is
I'm sure
for
that's fine.
5 or 10 minutes before it all calms down, and they seem to be just hanging out and relaxing upstairs. While they do that, the woman Kira brings Ken over to the fitting doll and takes out a long piece of tape and starts sizing up sleeves, torso, all the different measurements she's going to need. She gets a good idea to the color of the scales, color of the hair. She kind of assesses your eye color. All the while, Sal takes your hand, Mia, and kind of holds it up, holds it down, looks up at you, and goes, "What about
Hello.
you, my dear? I guess we'll go from the front to the back here."
Well, these are the only clothes I've ever owned, so I don't really know what I need.
Oh, that is a tragedy. Kira, did you? I heard it. She looks at Ken. She looks at the rest. She only owns one pair of clothes.
Meeting her has been a special situation. It's a very long story, sir. I just can't really get into it right now.
She may look the way she does, but in fact, she's actually a year old, barely.
Oh.
Like a month, maybe?
Oh.
I don't think it's been that long.
Interesting. Well, we'll have to find something impressively suitable for your first garment, and kind of looks over and goes, are any of you, did you want to do any sort of theming? Is there any matching colors we wanted to go with? Are any of you going together? What are we working with here?
We're all a group, but I think we're going with outfits that insinuate us individually.
Okay.
But I do have an idea for Mia, and then I give him a slip of paper.
For Mia or for you?
For Mia.
Oh, okay.
Or
Kind
not,
of
not for... I don't say her name out loud.
Yeah. For Annalise.
Annalise.
That one.
That one.
Right. Okay, he'll take the slip of paper. Can you describe what you've drawn?
I haven't... It's mainly written out, essentially, a... God, how do I describe it? Hold on, I actually may have...
Write it out.
Picture.
Because I could either describe what you drew, or I could make you describe what you drew.
Hold on. What did I find? No, not that one. Not that one. Nope. This is what happens when I search Pinterest for too long.
I feel it. I had 40 tabs open earlier today.
That might be plausible. Where did it go? No.
Also, I will say, I love gnome art. Finding art for gnomes is so much fun. They are just hilarious.
Okay. Let me just send you a picture.
Okay.
Since I suck at describing. Should I post it? Should I send it to you, or should I just post it in Tyranny?
send it to Tyranny if you want, or it's up to you. However you would like me to play it.
Right? How secretive do you want to be?
I'll send it to you for now.
Super secretive.
Super secretive.
Because I think that outfit fits her the best in terms of fancy.
Kind of like he weighs it up and down. He goes, I like what you've suggested here with the sleeves, especially the collar. All of that's more reserved than you normally see, and that in this case could be eye-catching, especially for someone whose normal clothing is a little bit more revealing. However, I think if we modified it just a little bit and had the skirt go all the way to the ground as opposed to knee height, he kind of like looks up at Aerith over his glasses, like he's talking to a peer essentially at this point. What do you think of that? And
I will agree. Having it go to the floor would be best.
okay, very good, very good. Okay, well, I will go ahead and take this. Kind of like holds it a little closer to his chest. Why don't you come with me, young lady, and we'll get you all sized up as well. And then,
Okay.
actually,
Okay.
he kind of like stops right here, and he kind of like gestures into the room that he was in. Why don't you head on into the back room here? I'm gonna head upstairs and get your friends some refreshments, as this could take a while. So I don't want everyone to be just standing around bored.
So many fabrics. I love it.
Yeah. He gestures for you to go in there. He'll go upstairs, and you hear a little bit of like muffled voice, kind of not shouting, but speaking to the menagerie of animals upstairs, and a little bit of okay, all right, not under my feet, not under my feet. Before he comes down with like a tray of tea that he will bring over to the three of you. Please make yourselves at home. Hopefully this won't take too long. We'll get your friends sized up, and then we'll get ideas for you and get you guys on your way. Enjoy. He's gonna kind of, I guess he'll leave it on the table before going to see Mia.
She's just touching all of the fabrics.
Ah, they are lovely, aren't they? I think this is what we're going to use for your friend's suit. Now, your other companion who had designed this dress for you,
Mm-hmm.
he said that you were all going in as a group together, but
Great.
he kind of like, he looks at you and he smiles. He's like, but I've been around a long time, so, kind of like, how do you like the color blue?
I think
Nice.
it's very lovely.
Good, good. He kind of pulls a bolt of this almost, let me see, hold on, where's the reference for what I'm doing? It's almost like a deeper, like steelish blue, and it has this, deepy,
Sorry.
yeah. No, you're good. Deeper steelish blue. It has these dark kind of feathered pattern, or not feathered, but leaf patterns on it, like small branches. You could do something like this, and then thinking the gentleman that my lovely wife is currently assisting, the two of you kind of just like waves his hand in the air expectantly.
Do any
That's
of us hear this?
William?
William, yes. I don't know, roll me a perception check. Anybody who thinks that they might want to be overhearing this.
I'm still at disadvantage.
Yeah, you've
Sure
had one
are.
night of rest, but not two.
Yeah. Oh,
Nice.
joy.
Unfortunately,
I'm engrossed in my tea.
yeah, engrossed in your tea.
This wouldn't
yeah,
happen
she
in
did.
Baldur's Gate. No, I'm kidding.
She doesn't really understand what the
Implications are.
vague assumptions that are being given her way. She just kind of like stands there and smiles.
Kinda, he turns his head. maybe I have the wrong of it. Let's get you sized up, and then I'll have a conversation with my wife. Usually pretty insightful about these things, but
I poke
takes
out
out the...
forgetting to mention, but saying that any colors he will wear will also be similar to what she wears, and gives a thumbs up and goes back to Métis.
Okay. He looks over and goes, "You have some prescient friends. Very good.
I don't know what that
answers
means.
my question." Um, he'll continue to size you up. Ken gets the same treatment. She is forceful but gentle, and turns you, kind of forces you to crouch down, sizes up your shoulders, forces you to stand up. She gets out like a step ladder. She has to get out like a taller step ladder at another point in order to get up to like measure the length around your collar and things along those lines. But eventually she gets all of the numbers written down on the small sheaf of paper that she's been taking notes on. She goes, "Okay, I think that's all I need from you right now." She hops down. "Let's go find out what all your other companions are doing, get them sized up, and we can get to work." And she'll head over and look over the three of you. "Okay, who's next?"
I'll go.
"Right, step on over here." And she's gonna motion for you to take the same spot Ken had. "So, do you have ideas in mind? What are we doing?"
I'll hand her a drawing that I did.
Okay.
Describe the whole thing.
All right.
Not super gala fancy, but it's fancy enough. Where did I put it?
Hold on while I leaf through my giant book.
This took me 2 days because I was right.
Hell yeah.
That's not too bad.
Okay. She looks over. "I see. More of a minimalist kind of simple, elegant. All right, all right. Fortunately, we have a fabric that will do this part just, with a little bit of additional enchantment. Nothing too complicated, but just enough to make it kind of shimmer. Very good. Okay. Well, that's nice and simple. Well, not simple, but that makes my job easy, as I have a reference to go off of. Let's get the numbers down, and I can get to work. This is very well designed."
Thank you.
She'll kind of like take the measurement. She isn't as precise with yours. The nature of it isn't as well. We'll let everybody understand. But she kind of like she takes less measurements of Aerith than she does of Ken. It's more of like rough, and then she'll take some notes, and pretty much at the time when Mia's getting wrapped up by Sal, Aerith is done with Kira, and so as Sal finishes with Mia, "Well, I think that should do it. I'm guessing shoes are also going to be needed if we're going to maintain."
These are the only shoes I have.
"These are the only shoes you have, of course. They are lovely, I will say. But
Thank you.
either way,
I don't know where I got them.
kind of just turns his head again. He's gonna roll a third insight check, and he roll above a 10, and he kind of like nods up and down. "I think I'm beginning to understand. Memory issues are very rampant here within the Feywild, and I'm sure that whatever has been affecting you, my dear, will be resolved shortly. Just keep your head up. You'll remember soon enough. Now, let's go get the last of your friends taken care of."
Okay.
And it leads you out as Kira's like, "Okay, that'll be all I need from you, my dear. We've got all of the different colors and fabrics we'll need for this, as well as so much of it is just going to be, it's more bulk than it is form, and I cannot say that I am upset about that. So, we'll have this ready for you, no problem. Sal looks at Kira, Kira looks at Sal. They kind of like tilt their heads, and Sal will walk up to Nick. All right, so, what about you, my good friend?
I'd rather keep it rather simple. It's been a while since I've gone to a ball, and I'd rather not draw too much attention to myself.
Also, I typed in fancy gnome, and the first picture is just this atrocious thing.
I'm curious.
Oh,
Oh,
absolutely, we need
no.
absolutely we need Nick in that
Right.
for sure.
Absolutely not.
God.
Please wear that. Too
No,
late. Done.
Oh.
You just need to take it into Photoshop real quick and change the colors to match the groups, and you've got it in one. You nailed it.
It's not. It could work.
Please, no. I like this here. I like this one better. Let's go with this one.
While
Just the pointy hat
Yes.
instead.
Yes.
you're kind of describing, Kira walk up to Oni and look up to you.
I have an
And
idea
what about
for
you?
Oni.
Well, what does Oni have any ideas
Yeah, I
before?
was just-
Before?
No, Oni's not very particular. He's not really like the formal type, so he doesn't really have any experience with this. It's been over 300 years since he was involved with this type of stuff. So
Oh, that-
he's open to suggestions. Let's say.
Hold on.
How do you
hold
think
on, here it is.
Nicholas feels?
that is
It might be even longer.
far too long for either of you to have not treated yourself and dressed up. Oh my goodness, this is just tragic. True tragedy. One we will have to remedy, my dear. So, what do you think? And they both kind of look back at Aerith.
I sent Earth an idea that I have because I just found it in my fucking photos.
I mean, I'm not gonna say no. Like I said, Oni's not super formal, so he's not picky. Doesn't know what would look good or not, so he will fully defer to the two seamsters and Aerith in this situation.
I think plural, regardless of gender, is still seamstresses.
I think so.
So yeah,
Seamsters.
Seamsters just sounds weird.
A lot of the English language does.
No.
I have no qualms with whatever any of you would recommend.
All right.
I think
What
that's
you
like
got for
the
me, Aerith?
better option that I could find.
I do
mean,
like
it-
the second one that you sent, Kyle. That one is.
That one is a
one's nice.
preferred one. I vote yes.
Right?
Yep.
Like steampunky, but kind of still like formally.
I do
That
like
is-
how he has like a book
Weird is the first
on
one.
his belt, but I know
This
it's
Right?
like
It works.
a container or some
Yeah.
sort.
Okay. She looks down at the drawing that you had done of Oni and his kind of like this idea that you had. It's kind of what I had in mind. A nice long coat with a good tail in the back. This could be interesting. I like what you've done here with the suit part. Very good. Okay.
It just fits him very well, if you know what I mean.
Right. And I heard you kind of shout something to my husband earlier that the draconic one and the young lady
Their colors
together.
Yes, their colors need to be accentuated a bit more than what's going to be on ours.
very good. Now, I know I saw in your art. How about for you two gentlemen? And she looks back over at Oni and Nick. Any colors you're looking for, themes, things along those lines?
I don't
For-
know.
For right now, we're looking at your. I have a nice kind of textured, steelish, colored fabric that has a good metallic sheen to it that I believe I could get going into a nice accent to his natural scales and eye color. So if you wanted to try to match that same color and all travel together, we could do that. And then she looks over her shoulder up at Aerith, and then trust me, I know exactly what you're thinking with the mixing the colors of the two of them. I've got just the idea. But for you guys, were you looking at the same colors for your main suits, or do you want to all be unique? How do you want to identify?
Do we want to look like we're all part of the same group? Is that?
That's
I don't
essentially the
really
question.
remember. I don't remember if we wanted to kind of look separate, so Ken and
When-
Mia attracted attention, and we could do our thing. And this is out of character. This isn't on it because
Right. That was
Oni's not
Yeah.
gonna.
plan, yeah.
Oni's not gonna drop real names in front of these two. No offense to them.
Yeah, no, you're good. When
I
you
thought that
spoke,
were-
yeah,
I
when you
thought that
spoke.
was what we were going to do.
I'm sorry, Ken. I keep doing that. Go ahead.
It's kind of what we were going to do. We were kind of just put the spotlight on the couple while y'all go handle business.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think we should kind of go, like Eric was saying, a little more individualistic with like ours, so that we don't look like we're part of the main couple. That way, yeah, that way they're looking away from us and they're not like, oh, they're all together. Let's keep an eye on these guys.
On these
Very good.
fuckers.
I can work with that. And Sal nods. Yep, I think we actually might have something. Just needs to be tailored a bit, but might work for you. Starts measuring up Nicholas in front of him. Come on
We
back
already
here.
have gnome clothes.
Come on back here. Let's get you sized up as well. And as he steps back and sees Mia touching all the fabrics, he goes, "That's just so lovely, my dear.
There's so many colors and they're so pretty and I've never seen them before.
Just try not to stain any of them. Excuse me." And kind of just like not pushes, but nudges Ken away to get Nicholas there.
I don't think he could push Ken if he tried.
No. He just sort of like taps Ken gently on the hip, and I assume Ken just steps out of the way. Kira will take Oni over and get him sized up as well. And after about another 10 minutes or so, the upstairs has grown concerningly quiet.
Nah, it's
Do
fine.
any of you do anything while Nick and Oni are getting sized up?
Well, I got pulled into here to
Enjoy.
me
Yeah.
want to show me all the colors of the cloth.
Right. She's just picking
I'm-
things up and asking about them.
Yeah. So I'm stuck in here for the time being.
That's fair. That's fair. Sometimes it be that way. All right.
She's like, "What color is this?" and holds up like this weird rug color pattern.
I believe that's vermilion red. Yeah, Sid made sure to pound a study on all the different colors in case I get hired for like commissions on stuff. It's all elective, but I could see some use into it eventually.
So you know all of the colors? Are all of them here?
Probably not. I'm
There are
assuming
more.
stocked up on the more popular colors, but I'm sure there are plenty of other colors out there that's not here.
How many are there?
Well, it depends on where you're from or where you're currently staying. Some people have a different library of colors than others, so it really depends on where you're at. With it being in the Feywild, I'm sure they have a lot more color variation than the material plane.
I have already seen probably more colors than ever, like I've ever seen at the material plane.
Mm-hmm.
How do they make them?
That is a question I think you would probably have to direct to the tailors, because I have no idea.
They're mostly dyes that we take from the flowers and plants that grow around here. So many different vibrant colors. We can get all sorts of different unique accents and pigments out of them. Not to mention our inherent kind of. He wiggles his fingers in the air, and there's a little spark of magic. Just to change things up a little bit as we need it, and make things a little easier on ourselves.
Right. So the cloth, but how do they make the colors?
Well, the cloth itself is normally kind of like a grayish white. When we finish, oh God, what is it called? Weaving it. I think that's when it
When
comes
finish
out
the
of the loom,
fabric.
right? Yeah, when it comes out of the loom,
Yeah,
it's
weaving.
woven, right? Okay, yeah.
Mhm.
When it's done weaving, it's undyed normally. These fabrics are mostly taken from spider silk. The spiders that grow large in this area produce vast quantities of really powerful and, well, not powerful, but strong and light and soft webbing. That webbing can then be broken down and restrung out into a kind of fiber that is then woven into a blank fabric. And from there, we take that blank fabric and he's doing all this while he's like measuring out Nicholas. He takes like Nicholas's hat off and like the hair kind of floofs out and he measures around the crown for the new hat.
She's just nodding along, but there's nothing like behind her. She's
There's
absolutely
just
not
steam
understanding
coming
any
out.
of it.
And
Blank.
once it's done, we have to leave it outside to dry and treat because the dyes themselves can be very toxic or they smell bad. They just don't smell good at all. So we leave them outside to dry and to properly age, and then once they're done, we can cut them, sew them, and arrange them into whatever style we desire.
Oh, okay. Well, I meant that was all very interesting. I understood all of it. I meant whoever makes colors, how do they make them? Where do they come from?
Kind of like they are part of life. Life wouldn't. It just is. They have always been. Kind of like stops measuring for a second. I don't think I've ever asked myself that question. I would assume that it's just part of life here. An echo of. No, I don't know.
Oh, God. Me is over here about to get the Taylor an existential crisis.
I had never considered. Now you have Cade sitting here going like, "Where do colors come from? Who did make colors in the first place?
Who made colors?
Who made the colors?
Nature.
Nature, exactly. Well, they're just a part of the world, and it's our understanding of nature and the changes there that allow us to use the flowers and the herbs and plants not only for dyes but for food and medicine and all sorts of uses. I could ask the same who put us here, who put me here, who put the trees and the grass. I know who put that stone there. That was my grandfather. My grandfather put that stone there, but
Well, I think from what I've learned, it was mostly the gods who put us here, right?
don't know much about the gods. Can't say I've never really been a faithful one. I tend to respect those that have kept us safe and prosperous within Sarnau, and that being the valiant leader of the Winter Court, Lord Bastille. He kind of like closes his eyes and says it with a bit of reverence.
Have you ever met Lord Bastille?
No, not in person. I've only heard stories of him, and
Is he nice?
he does what he can to keep the various factions here within the Winter Vales peaceful. We are a place for the dispossessed. Well, I was born here, but my family does not necessarily come from here. Gnomes, not technically natural denizens of the Winter Court. They tend to just be shapeshifters. They're the true blood, but they would never call themselves that because it's not as important. They, being so varied in their own cultures and biologies and everything, are welcoming, opening. They're willing to take in other cultures and allow them to commingle and exist without conflict, and a lot of that is said to be thanks to Bastille and his. Some call it a apathy, others call it a respect for freedom, and I tend to lean more towards the latter. A respect for freedom and an acceptance of everybody.
Why are all the different people here in the different courts? Is that just you, if you are a certain type of person, except for, I guess, like you, if you weren't part of it and you come to this one?
You have countries, or maybe not.
I know all about the Sword Coast. Chad told me about the Sword Coast.
Well, you know more than I do about it, but from my understanding, each of the Archfey exist as a pinnacle. There are 4. Well, not 4 Archfey in total, but 4 that sit at the top, and those being the leaders of the seasonal courts. It's kind of a joke. We don't have seasons here because we don't have days or weeks or any real change beyond that of just life itself. So, when we refer to the summer court, it's more of a country. It's a territory that a ruler manages, and the other Archfey within their court, like I'm assuming Archie, exist as dukes, counts, magistrates of the towns and villages, while the leaders, our Bastille, our Titania, they exist kind of as king and queen of that country. Does that make sense?
I think so. Besides the part where you said like each one is, or at least this one, right, is only shapeshifters. So are they only born in this country?
No. Some leave, most stay, as it's the most accepting place for shapeshifters. It wasn't that they are the only things that live here. It's just that the shapeshifters all gathered together in one place to found their own nation before history, before anybody really has any writings, and being the rejected, the dispossessed, the more wild of the races here, they found the trying territory of Brokenstone Vale, and hold on, let me get the map up so I can get the right names for the rest of your court, as well as the Fen of Winter and Efreeve. They are cold and perilous places, but such tough people are more than capable of carving out a life there.
think I get it.
Kind
Mostly.
of like looks over at Nick, who's probably been just holding his hat for the last like 5 minutes while he talks. He goes, "Oh, you can put that back on. I'm actually done.
Oh,
You're all yeah. Sorry, I get a little caught up.
I just realized when he took the hat off, Todd was probably underneath.
Take the hat off.
Oh,
Let me just move that out of the way.
excuse me, Mr. Frog.
What? Turns around as Kira is kind of sizing up the last of Oni's measurements. Again, it's she is a little bit more precise than she was with Aerith. She does have the paper that Aerith had drawn out his design on, kind of sitting off to the side there, that Oni could, if he wanted to, sneak a peek at, as he is a very perceptive person. If you wanted to get an idea as to what was planned.
For me or for me?
For Oni.
Oh.
Sure, Oni will look mainly because I've already seen it myself, so it would be a little weird to act like I haven't seen it.
That's fair.
Oni will sneak a peek.
He did say that he had sent it to you. That's true. As you very, very nonchalantly just sneak a peek out at this kind of nicer undersuit, and the way that it's drawn, that Aerith had given it to her, has been augmented a little bit. She's drawn in a vest as well as more of like a tailored suit shirt as well as pants, as opposed to something more stretchy. But then this larger kind of overcoat, and she kind of just nodding along, taking analysis of the colors that you have there on your robes, and I can use this red here as a little bit of an accent, mostly keep it with this kind of vaguish white that's just suits you very well. It matches your skin tone, and I think we could make something work quite well with just some undyed spider silk, honestly. All right. Well, did you have any other specifications or anything else that you needed done? Any other things I should keep in mind when making this?
Not really. I don't think it needs to be anything specific, right? We don't have any niche needs for it, so I believe just whatever you think is best works for me.
Very well. All right. Well, she kind of like hops down off her step stool as Sal leads Nick and Ken and Mia back into the main chamber. She looks over at Sal, who gives her a smile. Got everything I need, and all of the ideas in my head are spinning wildly. She nods along. Well, probably be an all-nighter for us. Haven't done that in a while, and he smiles. No, we haven't. Oh, this'll be fun. All right, come see us sometime tomorrow evening. We'll have your garments ready for you in time for you to leave, and if you have any other thoughts or any other specifications that you are looking for, come back and see us. We'll be here making everything so right. And as he says it, you see her kind of like put her head down in her hand, like, why every time?
Well, I guess it's time to go grab my kiddos. I'm sure they had a good time while we're taking care of things.
You whistle for them?
Yes.
You kind of give out your shrill whistle. Above you, it had been eerily quiet, very quiet, almost concerningly quiet. But as you whistle, you hear as like 20 different metal claws hit the ground, and as they scrabble across, they leap down from this stairway and kind of swarm around you and like fall into this still playful, still jumping at each other, but behaving around your feet so that you can walk freely around, or freely with them around you. All around your feet. She smiles and she whistles, and her two boys poof, poof, pop down at her feet, and they're just like big, huge smile, heavy panting. She just scruffles them. Okay, well, we'll see you in a day.
Sounds good. Thank you so much for all of your work. I appreciate it.
She smiles. No, no, no. Thank you. We are going to charge Archie an arm and a leg for this.
Oh, good. I was wondering how much it cost, but if he's paying for it, then it's perfect.
Yes, I assumed when you said that he sent you
Yep.
that he was taking care of it. And Sal looks
Yep.
and goes, do we know an Archie? And she goes, yes, we know an Archie. And he goes, oh,
Well, he will take care of it.
very good. See you tomorrow then.
Bye.
Okay.
I'll pick out. I'll have everyone go ahead, and then I'll make sure the door is shut behind me.
Okay. You
As we leave, Mia will just kind of go up next to Oni and just, hey, Oni, is there a god of colors?
A god of colors. Kind of pulls his little book out and starts thumbing through it to see if any of our pantheon fits that bill. Give me 1 second to open up my little notepad where I got
doing the
it saved,
same
and I will
thing.
let you know. See if any of them seem like they would be
There is no real, like...
You could maybe bake it in with Malil with their stories and songs.
I was thinking Malil, Mistra, and Sylvanas all kind of make sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be Sylvanas. Sylvanas would probably sit, because colors come from nature, he would be, it would kind of fall into his pantheon, but there really isn't like a dedicated one.
And then Oni will hit you with that knowledge that Sylvanas is probably the most applicable, but not exactly directly.
Okay.
Unless you come up with one.
Everyone just starts worshipping Kalura, the colored god. Alright. Well, as you step out into the village of Sarnau, the lightly bustling streets around you of people kind of going about their daily business, you guys have about a day and a half to kill. What you guys got any ideas? Anything you want to do, look for?
I'm just chilling until we're ready to go.
Is there anything fun to do in town?
And now I'm on babysitting duty.
I mean, there's... Excuse me. You were given like a rough map of the town, and Oni did a quick like circumnavigation of it just to get an idea of the layout in order to orient yourselves on the map. You know that there's a town square that has a number of shops in it. There was a small like fair-esque ground that just looked like a kind of like a it reminded you guys of the camps that you would make with the caravan, where it was just a bunch of like covered wagons that were all hooked up next to each other. There isn't a lot in the in the ways of like large city libraries or shops or anything along those lines, but there's a lot of small town like amenities, I guess I could say.
Besides just looking around, maybe the fairground, campground, whatever part that you said.
Okay.
Mia would be interested in at least looking.
All right. 1 second.
I want to see what people in the Feywild do with their time. And if it's the same as what people in the material plane do.
Apparently, this is the one I didn't do the map for, but that's fine. We can do it Theater of Mind. Does everybody go with Mia, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, she drags Ken along, but I don't know if anybody else goes.
I'll look around, do some window shopping.
Okay. Did you want to go with them, or did you want to break out on your own?
What's Oni and Nicholas doing?
That is a great question. What are we doing?
Oni's probably gonna go, but he will break off on his own to give Ken and Mia some time to themselves.
Is there a library?
Not really. Not in this town. Not that
Dang.
Oni had been able to find in his searching. You could look for one, but it doesn't seem very. It seems closer to Greenest than Eriabor in size.
Now just meander about.
I'll go with Oni, and
Okay.
yeah, to give Ken and Mia some time alone.
All right. And
I'll talk with locals actually about the. Keep forgetting what he's called. The king guy who's not the king and has a special name that I can't remember the name
Bastille?
of. Bastille, thank you.
Okay. All right, then. Let's see. Can I get an investigation check from Oni or Aerith? You can either each give me one, or one of you with advantage.
I'll give Eric advantage for sure.
For just a normal roll, thank
Neutralizer.
you.
Yeah, right. Flat
Uh,
roll.
Can I get a survival from Ken or Mia? Same situation. You guys can each give me one, or one with advantage.
You want me to roll it?
Well, I've got a 0, so unless you want me to roll it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Hey.
That's finding your way through the city streets. And then can I get a persuasion check with advantage from Nicholas?
Take advantage. I don't know why, but I'll take it.
I'm assuming
Just
Todd is helping
so-
you in his
Thank you.
own
Thank
special
you,
ways.
Todd.
And you're just so charming.
You didn't really need it. 14? Okay. All right. So as you guys kind of head out from So Right, you each break away from your own. I'm just going to move this because I like this map. This is the town square. This is where Oni and Aerith find themselves. Break out into the city proper. Ken and Mia, you head towards the kind of. I keep calling it a fairground. It's more of like a wagon. It's only like 6 wagons kind of in a half circle around each other. There's a fire pit in the middle, and there's a group of what look like entertainers as you're approaching that are going through some sort of acrobatics act. As you make your way across the city with a 24 survival, finding the location without any trouble. We'll start there. As you approach the half dozen or so acrobats sitting around out front, like kind of going through this tumbler motion, look over at you guys and give you a wave. There are 6 wagons, like I said, kind of spread out and like front to back of each other, and then to the left there's like a deployed round tent that has one of those like fabric openings in the front that looks like it's just draped open, hung open with like a golden rope, and above it you can see written in the same 3 languages you've seen pretty much in everything here: Common, Sylvan, and Elven, fortune teller.
Ooh. Yep. Mia will run up to the acrobats first and just excitedly wave back and go and just, what are you guys doing? It looks fun.
We are practicing for our next act, my dear. Don't get too close. Things can be a little bit explosive. And he like flicks his hands out, and there's a prestidigitation of like sparks coming out of his hands. And he gives you this big beaming smile.
Wow. I don't know how to do that spell, but I've heard of it.
Yes, it is powerful magic, the ability to wow and amaze those before you. Tell me, have you ever been to the circus?
What's a circus?
Oh, that answers all the questions I had. He looks past you at Ken. What have you been teaching this girl? Ah, a circus is a place where people of all skills and expertises can gather together to show off their wonderful abilities to amaze the mundane and layman among us with our unique capability. Like, puts his hands towards the air with this very, very overly flamboyant gesture.
So cool. Can I do it?
It takes quite a bit of practice. And you look over and you see as like two of them have grabbed each other by the ankles and are literally just rolling around in a circle, like like a big wheel. It takes, unfortunately, years of practice. How about this? Let's start you off nice and simple. And he turns around and he grabs a couple of small juggling balls and he puts one in each hand. So what you want to do is you want to throw this into the air, and while the one from your right hand is in the air, you need to throw the left hand up, and then catch with the left hand, and then catch, throw, and you're throwing and catching. And as he kind of explains it to you, he takes out 4 more juggling balls and just starts going into like this juggling act. Go ahead and roll me. Are you going to try it?
Yep. She gives him a big smile and kind of like a blank stare, but
Roll me a dexterity check.
yeah.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Ken, what are you doing as all of this goes down? As the half-elven man who's about your height, short-cropped brown hair with a single long, like, braided bit that comes out of the back, like right behind his left ear, and hangs down onto his shoulder. He's wearing like a very stretchy and lightweight-looking one-piece outfit, and he is smiling with like glitter on his cheeks in this like completely made up visage. What are you doing?
After Mia makes her attempt, I'll like look up to, just give her a, nice try. I know you're very excited. Try one more time. Maybe I can help you out. And then I guess if she decides to try again, I'll throw a flash of genius.
So as you take the 2 balls, one in each hand, Mia, and you look up at him, and you can see him kind of like his arms are just doing this like upward pattern. You can't. It's hard to tell what he's doing, and so you try to mimic it, and you just throw both balls in the air at the same time, and they go up, and they go poof,
And
poof,
down.
poof, and you just
Ta-da!
smile. See, it takes. He catches all the balls, dexterity and practice, but that was a good first attempt. And as Ken walks up behind you and suggests you try it again, what do you do?
Okay. I could do it. Try again?
Okay.
Much better.
Okay. The 10 was the base DC to get a very, very like. Boom, boom, boom. It's not.
Throw one, catch one, throw one.
Yeah, it's not impressive juggling, but you're able to, with a little bit of reassurance from behind you, from Ken, you are able to roughly juggle. And as you get it down into like kind of a rough pattern for about 15 seconds, the acrobat who's been watching you smiles broadly and goes, "Who am I to say what you're capable of, though? That was an impressive increase in skill in such a short amount of time. I have to say, might be an acrobat after all."
Maybe. Here. Ken, your turn. And she just put the balls in your hands.
Okay.
Throw
I guess I'll
and
give
catch.
I guess I'll give it the old college try. Why's your genius?
As you look down at the 2, like, almost squishy orbs in your hands, you focus your mind on the task and begin tossing. It goes for about 3 tosses, and then finally it's almost like a brain fart. You're thinking about it too much, and both hands kind of toss up at the same time, and you realize that both the balls are in the air, and they go dunk, and they bounce into each other, and clash to the ground. Oh, that was a great first try! Amazing! You all really should join the circus. We could teach you so much. I mean, just look at how much. He kind of like
And can we
gestures
join the
around. And you see as 3 people have made themselves into like a human pyramid, and then the 2 on the bottom go from like hands and knees on the ground to standing up fully in one motion. He motions further, and you can hear the roar of something from behind a tent. What does he say?
Unfortunately, we're gonna have to decline joining the circus, but we'd be willing to, spectate your next act.
No, well, we'll be. Let's see. When are we? We'll be putting on performances in the town square in tomorrow evening. Well, you know how it is. If you want to come and see us,
quote
then
unquote tomorrow evening.
Right, it's so hard in Feywild. It feels
Yeah.
like being back in the astral sea, but come on and by, see us then. And if you like what you see, then perhaps make some donations to our cause. Anything helps. Food, supplies, food, all of it goes a long way. And he smiles widely.
Okay, that sounds good. We actually have some business nearby anyway, so that works out.
Also, I have things I can do. Do you want to see what I can do?
Sure. Amaze me, my dear. Let's see.
Okay. I'm gonna cast animate objects on his juggling balls and make them run around.
Okay. As you take out the staff, cast your spell out, the juggling balls that he'd kind of been holding like 2 to each hand pulse a little in his hands, and they jerk, and he looks surprised for a second, and he opens his hands, and they bounce out dunk, 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 onto the ground, and they roll around before leaping into the air and kind of just juggling themselves. And
now they can jump around and do it themselves.
he looks down at it and smiles, and he looks at you and goes, "You may be a bit overqualified to join the circus, but that is one hell of a trick. How did you get them to... They're still going. How are you doing that?"
It's a secret. And also because I don't know, I can just do it.
Interesting. Kind of like reaches out to try to grab one of them out of the air, and as he reaches for it, it jerks its way out of his grasp to avoid the grapple check. He confusedly scratches his head. Will they do this forever, or...
No. Just for a minute.
As you say a minute, they... Dum, 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 dum. Ah, okay.
Oh.
Oh.
Ta-da!
That was very impressive, I have to say. But maybe a bit overqualified. Either way, come on and see us and support our wandering show. Should be a good one.
Absolutely. And I'll bring everybody else too, because I think they would want to see.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
Does it cost money to see it? I have learned that things cost money.
He kind of like looks at you.
Usually.
What is money? No,
Right, see, I don't know either.
It's... Well, your support, it would be greatly appreciated in the way of any supplies, food. I don't quite know what this money is.
I mean, do you want one of these? And she'll hand him one of her platinum pieces.
Kind of like looks at it. I mean, it's very shiny, and I'm sure this is a very important person somewhere, but what do I need with a small round portrait?
I don't know. They're shiny and pretty, though.
I will be making a donation of food. Is there anywhere I could drop them off really quick?
If you've got some, he kind of just like motions over to the kind kind of like fire pit that's built into the center of their encampment. And there are a number of like crates and boxes that have been repurposed and reused time and time again that have this like mark on the side of them that you can also see on the wagons in the tent, kind of the same emblem.
Okay.
Anywhere really, just anything that's not on the ground, because eating food off the ground just isn't preferable. But if that's where you want to put it, I'm not going to stop you.
Yes, agreed. Let me see if I can't. Trying to find like some large boxes to like make like a makeshift table, and then
Hey,
There are containers that you could just fill with
Okay.
it's essentially just like a bread. Yeah. So as you walk over towards where he had motioned, you from the arm piece of your armor system, you kind of like wave out your hand, and this one device out of the bottom just kind of like emerges ever so gently out of like the bottom of the wrist on the armor. And as you wave your hand over, there's this platinum magical shimmer as the space around is converted from the natural elements of the world into the most tasteless but sustaining bread that you can imagine. And as it kind of like dunk, 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 it fills up these crates with about 45 pounds of food. And as he looks out over it, he kind of like his eyes go wide. Please stop on by. We will dedicate tomorrow's performance to your majestic presence. And he bows deeply. And as you see him bow down, Mia, who's still a little bit closer to him, you can hear the rumble in his stomach.
oh, cool.
Anything else you guys want to do here?
Yeah, you don't have to go that far, sir. I'm just a guy who just wants to help out however he can. But yeah, I'll try to stop by tomorrow. Anna, is it about? I think it's about time for us to head back.
Wait, one more thing. We gotta go see the fortune. The big thing. She points towards the fortune
tent.
teller tent.
Very well. We're going to go see the fortune teller, and then we're going back to the hotel. Okay.
And then we'll go back.
Okay.
But this one, she just runs off.
Okay.
Oh,
You
gotcha.
run in
Nice.
through the door of the tent, and as you run in through the door of the tent, we're going to shift over to Aerith and Oni, who are heading into the town square to do a little bit of just window shopping. As you find yourself in the center of Sarnau, this massive tree sitting in the middle of the like ornate cobblestone fountain space. People bustling around, holding conversations. Most of these are shops. The map itself has them more like domiciles, but they are restaurants, shops. You see one that looks like it makes like pottery, vases, clay work, things of a ceramic nature, small figurines. You see another place that looks like they make mostly wooden kind of trinkets or accents, furniture. There are a couple of restaurants that are serving like kind of like coffee shops, where you have people just sitting around drinking some sort of hot, cold drink, snacking away. What you guys looking
coffee.
That's a good question.
for? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go ahead, Aaron. I wasn't trying to cut you off.
No, I was, I guess, just seeing, like, if they have any unique shops or just seeing what they have, what's here.
Okay. trying to think, because there's not a lot. Like, you look around, and the first instinct is to look for like a magical shop, something that sells the things that you would look for in the material plane, potions, objects, items, and there's nothing really like that. It honestly, the closest analogy that I have in my mind is this feels like a Renaissance fair, as far as the things that you're looking at. It's just a mash of these beautiful handmade trinkets, essentially. Um, the the first store that you step into is the one that does like the clay work, and what draws you in are these beautiful ornate vases that have it's almost like a double helix spiral pattern to the way that the neck goes from the base up to the spout, and the two helixes don't touch except for right at the top and the bottom, and it looks so delicate that any liquid that you poured through it should break it, but at the same time you can see this kind of strength in the way that the form is structured, and it draws you kind of in to see the masterwork of these craftsmen. You let's see. You would also find, because you've got there are like jewelers that make small rings, necklaces, earrings, trinkets that are using the kind of gemstones natural here to the Feywild, which each seem to have their own kind of like interior light, almost like they're slightly luminescent, and the metal itself is more reflective than the kind of golds and silvers that you've seen back in the material plane. Um, and like I said, then there are places where you can get snacks and drinks, sit and talk. If you had any questions for any of the NPCs or anyone, there's a plethora of the various races here. Again, it's mostly these half elves and elves that I've used these same two male and female tokens for, but but you also see a good number of Eladrin, both of the autumn and winter variety, kind of just milling about, mostly keeping to themselves, but a few kind of going between the different racial groups. But if you're just sort of spending the day exploring and taking in the scenes, then that's all good too.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have anything specific. I guess while we're here, because one thing I've been running into when we get into some of these fights now, when things are running and I have to spend a whole turn running, are there anywhere, since this is like Faye and that seems pretty up their alley, any like vendors that are selling bows? I don't really have a ranged option. I'm realizing. Other than some darts and that +2 dagger we stole off of that one guy, the simulacrum, you know?
That is
that
very
you can
fair.
throw once.
Yeah, you wouldn't find them here in the town square, but there would be Fletchers, Boyers, as well as blacksmith here within Sarnau. So if you were looking for a bow, we could definitely.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's not gonna like force Aerith to stop what he's doing. So whenever Aerith has his feel of walking around, taking in the sights, checking out the shops and all that, I think he definitely want to try to grab one of those while he can.
I mean, Aerith is like very interested in the jewelry, but he probably won't buy anything.
Treat yourself.
Right?
I will say, as you guys
Also,
have
it's not
been
money based, so who knows?
in the market,
True.
you haven't seen any money trading hands. What you've seen are objects, or in lieu of objects, agreements, and then a shake of the hand, and then the passing of a product. But you've never
Sell your soul.
You've not actually seen a coin being handed across the table.
You have to ask what they consider fair trade. I have to know.
I will go. I mean, I guess I'll go into the jewelry shop and ask, like, you know, just like point at a ring and be all like, how much is this worth?
Oh, that. That. The elven, like middle-aged elven male that's running this shop, short, or not short, but like heavily lacquered down hair that's just like almost like a cap on the top of his head, his ears pointing out very, very obviously. And it looks at the ring, looks at you. How much is it worth to you? Well, what is it worth to you?
I mean, I'm just curious.
So am I.
You've entered into the hackle phase.
Would you like to try it on? And he kind of like, he opens the little showcase that it's in, and he takes the ring out, and he kind of holds it out for you to try it on.
I'll like grab it, look at it, and I don't know. I'll just like place it back down.
So it's worth nothing to you then. Very well. He puts it back in the case and closes it. Anything else striking your interest?
What do you think would interest me?
He looks down at the ring that you just picked out. How would I know?
I guess we're done here then. And I'll just slowly walk out.
You really don't know what you're doing here, do you? He kind of like calls to you. Do you turn around or do you just walk out?
I'll turn.
Okay, he motions for you to come back over. You're from the material plane, aren't you?
Yes.
That's what I
Was it
figured.
that obvious?
Okay, so there is no currency here. Things are more ephemeral. This ring, takes it back out, and it's kind of like this flattened spiral of these three different types of metal, all kind of shimmering with a different silverish color, like a gunmetal steel almost, and then like an actual stainless steel, and then what looks like almost platinum. And at the end are four stones. The middle two are red and the outer two blue. They're not huge stones. They're just like, I don't know how to gauge stones. They're not big. They're not big enough to stand like out of the band itself. They're inset into the band. And he weighs it and he goes, "This took me about 10 hours to make. The materials were a trade that I had with another proprietor. I gave him a handful of my finished product, and he gave me enough material to make twice as much finished product. So, as you can see, we operate here on a barter system. And it's important within that barter system to gauge the buyer and the seller. So, when you look at this ring, what would you pay for it in a store within your world?" 100 gold pieces, maybe, for a masterwork craft like this.
Yeah, I guess. Just
We can
not
use that.
really my style. Sorry.
No, if it's not your style, then there could be others. We're using this as a time for learning. So you know now how much this roughly is worth to me, about 10 hours of my time. You know how much you would pay for it, roughly, in the material plane. What I would suggest you use is find something of your own division, your own creation, your own self, and offer that in trade whenever you see things here that may appeal to you. You may not always get the better end of the stick in these bargains, but we find it to be more alive, to understand both sides of this arrangement. And he takes the ring and he kind of like sets it back in, more gently this time. So, is there anything here that might strike your interest? I do have a variety of styles, gemstones, metals. I even have a few made in rose gold, if that might be more interest to you.
Is like everything that he has just out on display?
Mostly, yeah. It's kind of like it's like a jeweler shop where he's got like those glass cases out that have like pillows and different like boxes and stuff in. They're kind of like separated down between the rings, which is like this main center area, and then like necklaces kind of sitting on stands off to your left. To your right, you can see a variety of like bracelets and bangles and like just different types of ornamentation for your arms. It's all segmented into different sections of the store.
What about things like a compact mirror or something like that?
I might have something like that. So let me see. And he kind of like turns around. We don't get a lot of business here for those. He takes out a little box out from underneath one of the glass cases. He goes, I think this was. He dusts it off and opens it. Yes. Let's see. It looks like a small silver hand mirror, ornamentally carved. The borders around it have like this motif of like a burning sun at the top, and then this kind of like descending of flames down the side, almost like crescent moons on the very edges. The reflective glass in the center is placed over like the most pristine, beautiful silver you've ever seen, and the reflection that it shows you is absolutely gorgeous. So, what would you say this is worth?
This. I'll start rummaging through my bag of holding.
Okay.
What of my garbage can I pawn off?
Essentially, yes. Let's see. I pull out Wand of Fear. I pull out the 2 drift globes that I have. I'm literally just going down my list.
So you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna take out a wand and a drift globe,
and then I
another
pull
drift
out
globe. Got it.
I pull out the mirror of past memories, the broken one.
Oh no.
And I'll just like place it on the counter just like to put it there. And then I'm just like rummaging through, see if there's anything worth it. I accidentally grab, I don't pull it out, but I grab the Celestial Lotus and I'm just like, nope, gotta keep that.
Yep.
Oops, look at this pretty mirror I put down on the counter that it's not there for any reason or anything.
I think that's all that's at least worth something to me.
I can't remember. The mirror got shattered, but did you guys repair it? I know that the
was
magic couldn't be repaired, but
partially
mundanely repaired.
repaired.
Yeah.
because the, I can't remember his name.
Manon.
Manon, like, he was able to repair it, but he couldn't repair it to 100%.
Yeah, couldn't get the
So,
magic going again.
Yeah, so, like,
Okay.
the item itself looks normal, looks how it was, slightly better. But, like, the magic itself behind it was just, it just doesn't work.
Kind of like
So,
picks
I
up.
will... I'll hand over the wand, the 2 drift globes, and then the mirror of past memories. I keep wanting to say broken because I have broken right after it.
Non-functional
Roll me a
anymore.
persuasion check with advantage.
So it's just a flat roll. Thank you. Oh, my persuasion is garbage.
6. Kind of, he looks down at it. Kind of like picks up the mirror and weighs it in his hand, and kind of like checks his reflection in it, and you see this like look of like, He puts it down, and he picks up the drift globe and he activates it. Again, he kind of like shakes his head. Kind of looks down and he goes, And you'd be willing to part with all 4 of these items for the mirror?
Yes.
Very well, I guess I'll take the short end of the stick this time, but fine. He kind of like scoops it all up, and he takes the mirror that he had gotten for you, and he puts it back into the wooden box and hands it over to you. Very well. So now that you have had some experience learning of how things go here in the Feywild, what do you think of it?
It's interesting. I will say that it's probably better than how we do things in the material plane.
More straightforward. That's what I
Yeah.
think.
Well,
All right, well,
thank you so much for the information. And the sale.
my pleasure. Thank you. Enjoy.
I'm
And,
sure you didn't scam me.
guys
I
head
know the
back out
mirror
the
is
door.
not supposed to be, like, magical or anything. It's just pretty.
It's extremely gorgeous. But yeah, you tuck that away, your Feywild mirror. Anything for Oni? Anything you wanted to do?
Not here, but I did want to try to go see about grabbing that bow.
Right. So
Yes.
as you step out, Oni lets you know, and the 2 of you head out into the city proper to find a Boyer. And as you guys look for a Fletcher to build something or purchase for Oni to use at a distance, we'll go to Nicholas, who is discussing the current political climate of the Winter Court within Sarnau. So as you stroll through the streets of Sarnau, Nicholas, kind of just taking in the beautiful amalgamation of housing and forest and the various kinds of like plant life and natural living here within Sarnau. You approach a younger gnome woman, probably in her early middle years. And what was your question again?
I've just asked about their opinion on the Bastille. If anyone's like seen him, what's he like?
Oh, I've heard he stands 12 feet tall and radiates light like a god. She just smiles with the biggest, like, most reverent look in her eyes. And as you find another and ask them, I don't know much about what he looks like. I don't even really know if he's a he, personally. But, can say that they look out for us. They take care of us. They protect us, and I will always respect the leader of a pack who actually leads. Kind of like growls it out a little bit. You talk to like a older elven man. Yes, well, I actually moved here from Astrozalian myself. It was outcast for not adhering to the correct religious doctrines over the last, well, not religious, but faithful doctrines over the last few years, and saw my friends and family turn their back on me. Didn't know where I was going to end up, but I found myself here, and, well, I don't really know this Bastille you speak of. His man here in town is, he's a good man. He's helped me get my feet on the ground, gave me a place to rest my head while I figured out what I could do for the town itself. So, as you discuss with these people, you get the general feeling that he's a benevolent leader that wants the best for his people, and when conflict has risen, which doesn't happen very often, it mostly rises in the court of public opinion, to which they'll let you know that Bastille is a master of maintaining public sway due to his eloquence and ability to say the right thing at the right time, I guess would be the right implication. But if you had any other questions or follow-ups.
So no one's had any like proper physical description. I'm assuming it's all varying.
Yes, all the physical descriptions vary. They range from a 12-foot tall, flaming red-haired giant to just an average Joe. It's all over the map, unfortunately, which tracks.
So probably a changeling then.
Might be.
Yeah. I mean that makes sense. We are in this area. I guess I could also ask about like Titania and their realm.
Kind of going through that same routine. The gnomish woman. Oh, well, I don't know much about her. I've heard that she can be a little intense. The people that came here from her domains, they find the life here so different that I have to question how strict things must be there. The kind of like brusque, he almost looks human except for the tiniest little like points to his ears, and the fact that his face is just beard from right below his eyes all the way down. He's just this mass of fur. Can't say I've heard a single thing about Titania that I liked. She feels, from what I understand, if you don't adhere exactly to her way of life, you might as well not even exist within her realm. And that's just not right. Everyone should have the right to be who they are. Kind of like grunts at it, and there's almost like this small, like, light scent of like fresh meat on his breath as he huffs out heavily. And the elvish man, it's like, she was the main reason for my expulsion from Astrozalian. Some years ago, not many, but a few, she began to put forth new doctrines within the city, dedicated times of worship to her greatness, and specific regulations regarding the bartering of goods. There was even talk that she may be trying to establish some sort of monetary currency within the city to supplant the way we've always done it. I don't know.
Not money. No.
But the general gist that you get from them being that she seems more authoritarian.
Gotcha. Alright, well, I'll thank them all for answering my questions. And
Of course.
everyone else
Of
went.
course. Of course. And you said, what were you going to look for next?
Where everyone else ran off to.
Okay, so circling back, we'll go to Mia and Ken. As Mia pushes her way into the very dark interior of this tent, the tent being about maybe 12 feet in diameter and completely round. In the center is a circular table with like a burning bowl of what looks like wood chips and incense. And behind it is the oldest gnome woman. Well, maybe not the oldest one Ken's seen, because I've thrown some pretty damn old gnomes at you guys, but a very, very old gnomish woman who's just sort of like hunched over and staring down into the smoke, and her head tilts up with Mia coming in. Mia, you can see her eyes are milk white, and she smiles with this big, like toothy grin. Welcome, my dear. Please sit. Sit.
Hi, what's a fortune? And she'll just like run forward and sit on the chair.
Ken, as you head in behind Mia, you see as Mia sits crisscross applesauce on the ground in front of the small table with the burning incense, and she smiles widely. It is what is to come, what has been, what might be. Your fortunes can shape your destiny.
I definitely need to know all of those things. I don't know any of that stuff.
Wonderful. Then we shall look into your future. But first, I must ask. There is a price to my insights. A secret. A truth that you haven't told anyone.
She'll just like turn her head over to Ken, like standing over her shoulder, just what do I have? What have I not told anybody?
I don't know. I guess that's
Everybody has secrets. Doesn't need to be a big one or even a dangerous one. Just a secret no one knows. She kind of keeps her eyes trained on Mia.
Can it be a secret that I don't know either?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Then no one would know it at all.
Roll me a persuasion check. She kind of turns her head sideways. You have no secrets. Not that you keep. Her eyes, though the pupils are completely white, the eyelids narrow as though she's like focusing on you. None that you hide from others or from yourself.
I don't think so.
Then this instead, a truth.
That's her favorite food.
The truth. This is hard. This is a hard game. I wasn't expecting this. And she'll turn once more over and like look at Ken again and just I guess a truth, yeah. And I love him, and points to Ken.
She narrows her eyes once again, that kind of like slitted smokiness of the pupils peering through you, and you feel this not like a pulse of magic, but almost like like you're being read. And she smiles wide. Very good. A good truth. A wonderful truth. Then we shall tell the fortune. Sit and stare into the smoke. She kind of like reaches down into a bag at her waist and throws it into the smoldering wood chips, and it in this flash of smoke. I see dust and sand. I see a great mountain. I see a friend that you know, that you didn't know. A choice that must be made. Oh, a terrible choice. She kind of like looks through the smoke, and through the smoke as you're staring into it, you don't really see anything. You just get this like almost entranced feeling of awe, and as her eyes meet yours, it's almost like you can only see the milky white eyes through the smoke. The rest of her facade kind of just obscured by it. I'm sorry, my dear. It isn't a good fortune.
Oh. Are they supposed to be good?
When life is led in peace and tranquility, it is good. But I see strife, conflict. I see a battle within yourself. And I see a resolution. But not one that is clear. Who you are may not be who you always will be, is what the smoke tells me.
I don't know what any of that means, but it sounds interesting. Will I remember who I am?
She looks back into the smoke. No,
Oh. Never?
but you won't remember, but you will learn.
I guess that's good.
She kind of like, as the smoke dissipates from the flash of the powder that she'd thrown in, kind of billows up into the top of the tent and out of the like exhaust at the top. You can see is her face is softened a bit, staring at Mia almost like with a like I'm sorry sadness. She looks over at Ken. And what have you, tall one? Do you wish to have your fortune told?
Tall one.
You have to know your fortune.
Well, if you insist, I guess I'll
You have
give
to
it a
do
shot.
yes. Sit down. And she'll scramble up and then pull him down.
Okay. A secret or a truth?
Secret or truth? Well, let's see. Ah, this is difficult.
Right? I need to know everybody's fortune so that that I can know a secret or a truth from everybody.
Bold of you to assume that we would be doing it.
I need to know.
Well, let's go with truths for now. after our main objective is done, I aim to build a great city-state that will be the pinnacle of heroism, truth, and justice.
Locks her eyes with yours, and you feel that same kind of feeling Mia had of being read like a book as you reveal your truth. And her eyes close. Very good. She reaches down, throws the powder into the smoke, and as your eyes lock into this magical flash and this billowing of smoke, the beginning is the same. A journey through sand and stone. A giant mountain. Loss. But the return of friends. Change for the better or the worse. Can't be told. A place of fire. An endless storm. A deep, roiling ocean. Great enemy. She kind of like her brow furrows as she stares into the smoke, and there's a quavering in her voice as she's speaking. A mighty battle. Another horrible decision. Oh. She looks through. The two of you stand at the pinnacle of change. You shape the very nature of the multiverse. With every decision you make, your fortunes are awesome and terrible. And I wish I could give you better news. But in the end, your dream may not be a possibility. It depends on the choices you make and who or what you become. And as the eyes peering through the smoke, locked with yours, kind of like burn into your mind, the smoke dissipates, and you see as her face reemerges, sad and mournful from behind the smoke. It is not often that I am capable to see such trial ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing we can do is just keep the flame of hope alive in our hearts and forge ahead.
She kind of like reaches forward with one short, gnarled arm across the table, kind of has to like lean onto it with one arm, and like puts her hand on your shoulder, and at this point she's only about like 2 feet from your face. Keep that. Do not let the flame die.
Thank you. I'll try my best.
She sits back into her comfy seat. Thank you for your truths. I must rest now. She kind of like closes her eyes and leans back into the chair. And
Okay. Can I bring my other friends back later?
just a light snoring sound.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, let's let her get some rest. I'm sure I think she's seen a lot more than she was expecting. So
Right.
let's
Yes.
get out. Yeah, let's get out of here.
All right. As
That was
you-
very confusing.
Yeah, confusing is, I guess, the more appropriate word.
All right. As you guys head out back into the town proper to rejoin your friends, we head back over to Aerith and Oni. As you walk around the town, kind of taking in the sights and the smells, the scenery. Oni's natural perception kind of leading you guys on the right trail, even though you weren't even aware of it at the time. You cross the town before finding the small like weapon shops that are tucked away with a number of mundane looking bows, well, actually, wouldn't have crossbows, bows, slings, darts. The same weapon shop also sells like daggers, swords, short swords. They have like a different kind of blade here for their short swords. They are single edged and curved a little bit more like a scimitar, but not wide like a scimitar, almost like a wakizashi with a like actual crossguard blade that in itself is kind of like curved and ornate. There's a lot of spears and shields, as well as a few sets of heavier armor. And as you approach let's see, what do I want to go with now? Let's just call him half-elven man is out front, kind of stringing up a new bow that looks like it had just finished being like pressed into shape. And as you guys approach, he looks up from his work. Be with you in just 1 minute. Okay, got it. All right, good. Welcome. What can I do for you today?
I am looking for a bow.
Very good. What style are you looking for? Do you like short bows, long bows, recurved bows, breakdown bows? What are you looking for?
Well, my training is in longbows, so that, but I would love to see all of those because they all sound very interesting, if I'm being honest with you.
Very good. Well, let me show you around, as it were. And he kind of leads you into the store to where they have the different bows. And like the recurve and the breakdown are both essentially longbows that he shows you. The recurve bow is a masterwork longbow, so it is a non-magical +1. And the arms themselves, like normally the bows have a single like bend to them and it loops around the edge, but he shows you how this one kind of loops back, and the ends of the arms of the bow are bent and pressed to curve back on themselves, creating an extra like curve in the bow to create more tension. It also makes them smaller and more portable. And then he shows you the breakdown bows, which he has ones in both the recurve and the longbow style. And these ones have what look like screws on the front, these large metal like knobs. And as he takes it down off the wall, he puts up his finger and very quickly he pushes down on the top, pops the bowstring off. The bow kind of twangs out to full length, and then in about a minute he's able to disassemble the two bow arms so that it breaks down into about the size of an arrow and can be carried around in a quiver alongside other arrows. But it does take about a minute to put it back together before you can use it again.
It's very interesting. Yeah, like it's very neat to watch, but I don't know that I have a minute in between needing it, unfortunately. But
Hold
I do
on, let me put my bow
appreciate that. I do appreciate the craftsmanship that goes into it. It looks very well made.
Thank you. Well, how about the standard recurve or the longbows here? Any of these catching your fancy? I do have I have a couple of enchanted ones. Let's see. I have one that operates as a +1 magical bow. Let's see what other things might there be. Those are all very special ones.
Oni kind of puts his hands up like, I definitely appreciate it. Something like a simple +1 is more than enough. I really just need a slight ranged option.
Very good. All right. Well, I think that this one would probably serve you best. It's small-ish, but still packs the punch that you would expect from a longbow. The recurve giving it its extra bit of accuracy, speed, and power. So why don't you go ahead? Let's take this outside, and you can give this a try, huh? And he'll lead you out back of his shop, where he's got like a 50-foot long range with a really, really, really beat up target at the far end of it that you can use to kind of just take a couple shots with.
Sure.
As you size it up, he nods along. Feels good, right? It's got more weight than you're expecting for the size, but a lot of punch in those arrows, so what's it worth to you?
It's definitely worth from how it feels in the hand, how it draws. The craftsmanship, it seems very well made. He kind of takes out his scroll of story, unwinds it a little bit to be able to reach in, and I don't have a lot, honestly. I'm not sure what I could offer. I have this dagger. You kind of draw out the +2 dagger. I don't know if this interests you at all. It's slightly higher enchanted, and it's from someone that we need to see dead, so I don't really wish to hang on to it.
Roll me a persuasion check with advantage as he laughs. Taken from an enemy. Interesting. It's definitely masterfully made. I feel like I'd be taking advantage of you if I took it from you, but if it's worth it to you, it's worth it to me.
Of course, I am more of the hands-on type, and kind of flexes his like calloused and well-worn hands, so that it gets an idea that he's more of the punchy type. But there have been times where range is a necessity that I sadly lack.
He laughs. I find myself in the opposite situation. I usually have plenty of range, but occasionally, and he kind of like twiddles his fingers, and you see his like the nails on his fingers just grow ever so slightly. Occasionally, I'm stuck right in their face. But yeah, I think that's a fair trade. Enjoy the bow. I will hopefully not have to use this, but it's definitely a prized piece of my collection now. Thank you.
No, thank you. Give him a light martial bow, and tuck the bow away into his scroll for now.
Okay. Guys, head back out of his shop. As he seemed very, very okay with that deal. But he didn't recognize I rolled for him. He didn't recognize Tiamat's symbols at all, so he's just like, "This is a cool knife, man."
Hopefully that doesn't get him in trouble 20 years from now. Shit breaks bad.
Oh no, it'll be fine. But you guys regather together back within the Morning Wood. Your day's ventures, maybe not concluded, but having experienced the town a little bit, you get back together, and I will let you guys talk about your day as well as figure out what you want to do next while I feed my dog so she stops bugging me.
Hey guys, guess what?
What?
There is a circus that we need to go see tomorrow, and also there was a fortune teller. And she was all spooky and said some weird things that I didn't really understand.
Okay. Looks over at Ken.
Yeah, so where to start? And then I guess he goes into detail about Mia's fortune first, and then his. all very confusing, but I don't know.
Right. But I want to know your guys' fortunes too. So when we go to the circus tomorrow, we have to go and talk to her and see your fortunes.
I do have a question for you guys, because we are in the past. Do you think it's a fortune relative to like our current self, or do you think it's like 20 years from now? Maybe they were seeing Ken's inciting act of his village being destroyed and being taken in by Bahamut.
Right?
It's
Honestly, I
definitely interesting.
don't know. I don't know if it was from like this.
What are yours? Break your fortunes now for us. Let us in on your future.
God, I don't even remember what he said.
Oh my god.
It was a lot of things and I was confused. I will ask him to reiterate when he comes back.
Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't have to be ominous. Maybe it's just a friendly little. There's a sandstorm coming up, or
Yeah.
I'm back.
Okay. Is there any way that I could have you help me retell the rest of the party what my fortune was? Because I can't remember.
Oh boy. Your fortune was, she started with it. Well, no, she started with yours because So it was a journey through sand and stone, giant mountain. Let's see. You would find somebody that you know that you didn't know you knew. A decision that has to be made, and God, I can't. It's like so hard to remember exactly how I phrased it. And it's like I don't want to give away more. That you would have to make a decision, and ultimately you would have to leave the group. I think was kind of the gist of it. I'd have to re-listen to it. I improv'd it all.
Right. That's close enough. But yeah. So she'll tell that to everybody else for hers. Like, I don't know. Like, it doesn't seem great, I think. Although meeting somebody that I know is good.
Yeah, that definitely sounds pretty heavy. And Ken's was this similarly ominous? Only kind of looks between me and Ken.
Yeah.
But so I really want to know what your guys' fortunes are too, like, so that we can. Maybe it will help if we know all of them, and they will kind of work together, and it'll help us in the future.
Only kind of laughs like, I mean, I don't mind. We'll have one more day before the gala. We have time. If you want to hear our fortunes, we can go get our fortunes read.
Yes. Also, we promised the circus people that we would see their show.
We?
Yes.
Also, Kate, I did not think about it. Is there any way we could retroactively have asked that guy for like a handful of arrows? Because I realized I don't think the bow's gonna do me good without him.
Yeah, go ahead, throw in there 20 arrows in a quiver that you could have just tucked in there that he'll throw in addition as a Thank
Your
you
dagger was pretty
for
good.
the dagger. Yeah, that was a good persuasion too.
Cool.
Yeah, so I donated a bunch of food and water to him, I guess, as a thank you for attempting to teach me how to juggle. So I kind of got to go see them on principle now.
I can
And
teach
all
you how
of
to
you need to
juggle if you want to learn. Everybody,
I
would you like to juggle? We can juggle.
well, I think I did pretty good before, so yeah, I can show you how good I am. Do you have juggler things?
So when you're really good at it, anything can be juggled.
Anything?
As long as you can lift it and toss it, anything is juggleable.
Like this cup, and she'll pick up the cup on the table.
That cup, that plate, that saucer.
Oh.
How about
How
we
would
wait until and maybe we can talk that guy into lending us some juggling balls? Because I'd rather not toss anything in here.
You don't sound especially confident in her or your ability to juggle, Ken.
Or
Oh,
Oni.
I
He
know.
said he was really good.
Yeah, crafting's my forte. Juggling is no.
Honestly, it would probably benefit you. That little sort of hand-eye coordination that goes into juggling probably benefit your ability to work with your hands.
He's gonna start training juggling now because you said that.
How many training points to learn to juggle?
And it'd be a proficiency, so.
Yeah, it can't be as useless as the shoveling shit proficiency.
Right.
Hey, that came in handy a lot.
It'd probably be like maybe like 140 daily practice for a couple weeks. You got it.
Get you some sleight of hand proficiency.
I already have a little bit of that from my gloves.
Maybe down the line.
Alright, well, we'll definitely keep in mind the ominous fortunes that we've heard, and I guess keep an eye out on any really heavy crossroads we have to make a decision at.
And we'll learn your guesses tomorrow.
Is there anything else you guys wanted to do tonight before you turned in for the evening and got to the second day here in Sarnau?
I'm good.
If everybody else goes to bed, is Archie still over there?
He comes and goes. It's kind of like this is his office. He sits over there in that table most of the time, but occasionally, like you'll walk through and maybe he won't be there. You'll walk up to the room, and then when you come back down, he's back. And anytime he's not there, the gentleman next to him is also not there.
Is he there now as everybody heads upstairs to go to bed?
He is. As you guys had come in from your day of adventures here within Sarnau and sat down at the table, got a couple drinks and some food brought to you from Fed, had yourself dinner. You could look over a couple times and see Archie kind of just like, not watching you, but you'd look over and his head would turn and you'd make eye contact and he'd just give you that like bow of the head and like a, how are you today? So he is over there.
Okay. Well, then I guess as everybody goes to bed, she'll go over there and talk to him.
Is everybody else going to bed?
Yes. Or did we already do training for today?
You did the training this morning, yeah. That was the last thing we did last game.
Gotcha. Yeah, then I got nothing.
Yeah, I kind of don't have nothing. I mean, out of character, I'm like super excited to show you what Ken's former attire looks like. So
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna call it as well.
Yep, me too.
Alright. As the party heads upstairs to get a second day's rest, something that you guys haven't really had in a while, where you've had multiple days to just relax, where there wasn't a battle or a swamp to dig through or another plane to explore or cultists to fight. And it's nice just living life, shopping, walking around the town, and enjoying the scenery. Mia, as you head over towards Archie's table, you sidle up next to him, and he kind of like, he motions his hand out as one of the seats just moves out for you. Sit down next to him. Hello, my dear. Enjoying the
Hi.
town?
It's really cool. So, guess what? We went to the tailor place and got clothes. Thank you so much for getting those for us.
Of course.
I think they're going to be really cool, even though I don't know what they look like yet.
Well, Kira and Sal are wonderful tailors. They have a knack for the panache, and they're also exceptionally fast, so...
Right, they said by tomorrow, which is good, I think. Like, how long does it usually take to make clothes? Because I've only had this one that I'm wearing right now.
Usually it's about a day per garment, but if each of you are getting one, they must be... Oh, they're pulling all-nighters. Wonderful. The gentleman next to him kind of looks over, and you see the front of the helmet looks down towards Archie, and Archie looks at him and goes, I'm going to pay out the nose for this, but it'll so be worth it! Oh, and honestly, the more spectacular you look, my dear, you and your wonderful companion, the better to draw attention.
Right? I think they said that it would be really cool. Or I assume they applied that it would be awesome because they made it.
Kind of just nods, like, very sagely, and then picks up his glass of wine and sips it.
Are you gonna wear cool stuff?
Oh yes, I have a lovely 3-piece suit all set up for the occasion. But
What color is it?
kind of just like turns his head to you. It's black with a gray vest and a white shirt. Why?
Oh, that's not very exciting colors. They had all
Really?
kinds of colors at the tailor shops, like ones I've never seen before.
Kind of nods. Yes, that makes sense. Well, I personally like the darker colors. I think they fit my general aesthetic more. And I find black to be a very beautiful color. I mean, what is it but the absence of that color? And in that absence, what could be left but another color? It's like a riddle in itself, the color.
We had a talk with the tailors today about colors, and I didn't really get it. Who makes colors?
They just are. What do you mean, who
If they're-
makes colors?
Well, if they're there and, like you said, that they're absent and that makes the black one, then where did they go?
Kind of like sits back, takes a drink of his wine, rolls a d20, and takes forever. There we go. From my understanding, when you remove all of the color from something, you're left with either white or black, and I guess black would be more of the amalgamation of all colors, wouldn't it? It's not really a lack of them. When you erase something, it becomes... It's very strange, isn't it?
Right. Oni said that there was kind of a god that might have made colors, but not really.
If there is, they didn't make the colors here, and I've never known a more colorful place.
Right, and that's what I was thinking, because you said that there weren't really gods and that you guys were the gods, so did you make the colors?
Dear. there are gods. Wholesale, not denying that at all. I am not a crazy person. The gods exist. They hold sway over your world and your lives. They don't hold sway here.
Right.
Here,
Yeah, just
we
not
are-
here.
Here, yes. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that you understood, because to say such things as the gods don't exist,
No,
you can't. I
no,
mean,
I
people
got
would
a
have
whole
you locked
book
up for
about
that.
them. Look, she'll show him the
Smutted.
the children's god book that she has.
Ah,
Look, I've
yes.
got a book here with all of them.
Yes, see, yeah, there they are. I think that the one your friend was looking for is, if you don't mind, he takes it.
Mhm.
So, here, and he flips through. If there were a god of colors, he would be the one who oversees nature, Lathander. But he doesn't oversee colors. It's not part of his whole. I don't know. How do you say?
Job.
Yes, exactly. People don't see a beautiful rainbow and worship Lathander for it. They see the beautiful rainbow and recognize the beauty of nature, which then, I suppose, in one way or another, does worship Lathander. But here, nature is life. It's everywhere. So for our world, colors are not a gift of the gods, but a gift from the universe and the world itself, from something that is beyond the touch and realm of the gods. And having seen the vibrancy of the Feywild compared to some of the more monochromatic and darker aspects of the material, I find myself questioning if color is the realm of the gods, or if Lathander is somehow withholding the vibrancy of true color in your world. And he closes the book and hands it back to you.
That would be sad, because I do
Right.
really like the colors here.
So do I, my dear.
But also, we saw a circus and got our fortunes told. And have you ever had your fortune told?
No.
What?
Fortunes.
Why not?
They can be complicated. To reveal something of yourself and to see the future from it, it can change who you are to know what's coming. And I like who I am, so I will allow my fortunes to be obscured. Though it is tempting to hear what she has to say, I've heard that they can be quite accurate depending on the subjects, but
I mean, it was kind of confusing.
they always
And
are.
I don't think she told me anything that would change who I am.
That's
Do
good.
you want to come with us tomorrow to see the circus and get your fortune told?
I'll come for the former. I will not have my fortune told.
No.
He kind of like looks over at the guard, looks back at you. I honestly don't think I'd be able to pay her price.
The first one was kind of hard because I don't think I have any secrets that I've never told anybody because I don't know. But then the truth part was pretty easy.
That would suffice in lieu of a secret, I suppose. I hope. What truth that? Kind of like stammers a bit, and then puts his hand up. It's like, maybe I shouldn't know. I hope it was a good truth, and
I mean, I think it's one of the only ones I know.
good. Then you should be fine. It should be fine.
You seem concerned.
No more than I would be with any fortunes. Like I said, not a fan. It complicates things, in my opinion.
What about you? And turns to his bodyguard.
Roll me a persuasion check. He faces towards you, and the only reason that you could assume it's a he is just because of the body shape. And then he turns back towards the direction he has been facing in. Don't. Harrow's the same as me. He doesn't want to be tied up in the nuance of being trapped in some conditional outcome. It's better we don't know where we're going. That way we get there the right way.
What if you get lost?
What if you were supposed to get lost? What if that is the journey? What if your fortune foretold that you would be lost, and you spent every effort trying not to be lost, only to find that by not getting lost, you could not move forward?
Well, I guess if you never go anywhere, then you can't get lost, yeah. I don't know. I think it would be fun, because then I would know that I'm going to get lost, and then I get lost.
You are very unique, my dear.
I think that's a good thing, right?
It's a very good thing.
Okay,
You don't want
thank
to be
you.
like everyone else.
I just want to be like me. But I don't know what that is.
I think you have a better grasp on it than you believe. Just because you don't know the beginning of your book doesn't mean you don't know who you are. I can see that you know who you are. You might not know who you were, but you know who you are.
That's true. I think that's nice. I think that's everything we did today, so I'll let you know when we're going to the circus.
Very good. I will look forward to it and be there with bells on.
And he's gonna come too. And points to Harrow.
Archie kind of looks up at him and goes, well, if I'm going to be there, fine. Very good. I'll bring my son too. He would love to see this. This is
Yes.
wonderful.
Bring your son. We're gonna watch the circus. It's gonna be so cool. Okay, bye. And she'll just get up and run off.
All right. As you run upstairs, the rest of you have had ample time to get ready for bed, make your evening preparations. Is there anything you guys wanted to do before we head to tomorrow morning?
Nope. I'm good.
I'm good.
I'm also good.
I'm good.
Good. All right. As you return to your 2 private rooms upstairs, Ken and Mia sharing one, Nicholas, Oni, and Aerith sharing the other. Nick, it's a nice, good night's sleep while Aerith and Oni trance in the room. Ken and Mia get their long rest and wake up the next morning, quote unquote, having now feeling rested and recovered. Aerith, your exhaustion has finally left you.
Yay. You're
Feel
normal
better.
again.
What is
And as you
normal?
guys head out into the day, I know that the circus is on tonight's docket. Is there anything else you guys want to do during the day?
I guess I can attempt to figure out how to train for this skip to the metallic dragon.
Oh, that is fair. Your morning trainings. Okay. Ken, roll me a charisma check.
Charisma. Oh,
Mhm.
It's
You're
in your
so
blood.
good at those.
Yeah.
As you sit down, kind of in that same meditative state that you were using for your Ascalon training, for reaching out into the ether and connecting with the Vanguard, you instead redirect that into your own inner self. You've learned a lot about who you are, not only who you were, but biologically who you have become since Bahamut's gift. since returning, since becoming Ascalon and being reforged. And a lot of that is tied into this growing, like, tree within your soul of the metallic dragon, the platinum dragon, that has been slowly not overwriting but merging with your physiology and yourself into something new. You know that this is the right path for awakening that further and finding other aspects of it to help you. However, in this first moment, in this first day of training, it's very overwhelming. It's like seeing your own genome and trying to understand which aspects of your genetic code need to be, poked at, modified, accessed. And unfortunately, you only get 1d6 for today. The goal for this one also being, oh boy, this is a feat.
Mm-hmm.
210.
Okay. Make sure. Okay. Back down to 0.
Trading in all those training points.
Yeah. And
Starting out
everybody else,
strong.
who else is doing training this morning?
Better
I
than
would
one.
like to.
Yep.
Your
Me
intelligence,
also.
wisdom, intelligence, I think.
I'm gonna continue working on my herbalist kit.
Okay.
I'm gonna
Proficiency.
I want to practice juggling.
Give me a dexterity check.
Ooh, 17.
Okay. All right. Let's see. So, it's all good. Now Nicholas is going for that is 5d6 for Nick. Let's see, wisdom and Oni. You're doing blind fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Nice.
That will be 3d6 for Oni, 3d6 for Aerith. Let's see, Mia is doing a proficiency, kind of. That one would be 15. That's 4d6.
And then what is it out of? I
Let's
forgot
call
what you
it.
said.
Let's call it 140.
Okay.
Because it's a proficiency, but it's not like a weapon proficiency. It's juggling.
4d6. Ooh,
Ooh, heck yeah.
I
Oh,
did
Jesus.
good today.
He
As you
really
guys
wants to learn how to juggle.
Apparently.
take to your corners and quietly begin to meditate, to kind of like work with your tools and study your notes, go over things you've learned and expand upon your understanding and knowledge of the world. You can hear in the distance occasionally, pat, dang it, dang it, dang it. But the time between dang it's gets longer and longer as you hear more of the whooshing of what sounds like small, like, bags of something moving through the air, just a couple of them, as Mia has found a couple of, like, sand weights that people use for parchment, for, like, holding down sheets of paper. They're like small square bags filled with sand, and you are using those to juggle.
Neat. Oh yeah.
As you wrap up your morning training, you guys head downstairs. I have been assuming you've been eating the food that the Fae have been bringing you. I know that was one question along the way, whether you would or not.
As long as that's not a terrible idea and that you are kind of making it sound like.
I mean, it's your call. The only reason I bring it up is because you guys brought it up in preparation for coming here, and or in possible preparation for coming here. And so I ask you, are you going off of the create food and water, or your rations, or are you eating and drinking the food that they provide you?
What he's saying is second guess ourselves right now.
Right? I think we had decided that we were just going to eat it, but
Okay.
I can't remember.
I couldn't honestly remember if I even
Yeah.
asked, so that's why I
think
wanted to ask.
It sounds familiar. I think you did it first, and then we decided yes.
Yeah, because 3 of our 5 liked the taste of it. Because, you know, we have the Fey ancestors.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. It was familiar. Okay. All right. So you get your breakfast. Do you have any goals for the day before we head to the circus this evening?
Are we
Probably
getting our
gonna
clothes?
go pick up her,
Yeah.
and we get to try them out. Make sure they fit.
They'll be ready this evening, right before you guys go to the circus.
Okay.
So it'll be
Okay.
the last thing you guys do at the end of the day is pick up your clothes and then the circus. Anything
We're going to
that
get
you're
our
doing between-
face painted while we're at the circus.
Maybe.
Maybe.
No.
Maybe.
No.
There better be a few clowns.
What would Feywild clowns look like? Are they worse or better than material
Just
plain
average
ones?
I
clowns.
feel like they
They're just, all
Should
clowns
be
are Fey
better.
clowns. Like, let's be real here.
I feel like they should be better, but they're probably worse.
I mean, I'll
Right.
just use the space clowns again because they're
No.
just perfect.
That's what I was just about to say. Is they can't be any worse than the space clowns.
So Pennywise the
Fiend.
clown. Got it.
Yeah. I was like, I couldn't remember. Were the space clowns Fey? My brain was saying it started with an
well-
F, but they're fiends, not Fey.
Okay. I was gonna say I don't think so, but
So then just turn
God,
them
who
into
knows?
Fae. Lol.
terrifying.
LOL.
Besides that, I don't know if there's anything else unless Archie wanted us to do anything else before that.
He's pretty much just waiting to leave, honestly.
I know Archie's going to get his face painted for sure, right?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Hell yeah.
You know it.
Please. Do it.
Become a tiger. What's a tiger? Oh shit. How are we gonna waste the day away?
Right? That's been my
Right?
question like all week. How are you guys gonna
It's,
waste the day?
it's finally time. Nick, break those cards out.
Until it's time to pick
Teach
up
us
our
to play
outfits.
cards.
Gambling.
It'll
Well,
be fun.
I guess, do they gamble in the Feywild if they don't have money? I guess
Sure.
they would have to do it for favors, I guess.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly
Archie, bet your name right now.
Yeah.
it. I like
gonna say-
Archie though. I don't want to give that name up.
Can we play cards with him and Harrow?
Do you have any sevens? Go fish. Fuck.
I mean, he'd be down if you guys wanted to sit and play
Absolutely.
some cards with him.
If we were gonna sit and play cards and waste time, then I am absolutely saying that we have to invite them. As Nick teaches us how to play whatever we're playing.
Uno.
All right.
Oh man, the journey ends here. Oh, the friendships are over. We're ruining every bit of relationship we've built over the past like year and a half. We're done. Tiamat wins. If Nick introduces Uno, that's it. That's game.
As you head over, sit down, and invite Archie and Harrow to a game of cards, they look at each other, and Archie goes, I've spent days in much worse ways. What game are we playing? And are we betting with each other?
Are we betting?
I want
I'm-
to, but I don't know
No.
what to bet.
Especially
I'm
since
not
they
betting.
don't take money.
But then we
I don't
get
bet.
more fun things.
That's fine. We'll just play for fun then. It'll be
I
a good way to
mean,
kill the afternoon.
the fortune teller accepted a truce.
Right? What if we bet, like, tell us one thing about yourself if you lose?
If you lose.
It's like strip poker, but not stripping.
It's
Stripping your
emotionally
soul.
stripping.
Very well. But I do have a condition. And it is a condition
Okay.
I will hold to as well. No asking names.
Yeah, I don't think we want to do that on our side either. So
Alright.
yes,
All right.
accepted.
Then I say we play our little game, and the loser answers one question from the winner.
I like it. That way we can learn more about ourselves and you.
That is the hope. All right. Well, what is the game we are playing tonight, young man? It's over at Nicholas, who's currently like blue screened.
He's got the little apple like spinning wheel.
He's just shuffling his deck over and over. He's making sure it's really well done.
Yep.
Doing like the bridge shuffle, the line shuffle. He throws the deck onto the table and it explodes out, and then he
52 card pickup.
pulls it all back together in like one big motion. Is that from the opening of Are You Afraid of the Dark Earth?
Yeah, it
Yes.
is. When you were like, she throws the powder into the fire and really set the side. That was all I could see in my head.
I was sitting there looking at it like, I know this. Where do I know this from? Are you afraid of the dark? What?
Are you
What?
afraid of the dark? I like the pool one.
I don't
Or
remember
is that a
any of
different one?
the specific ones. I just remember really liking the show. That and I feel like there was another one that was like it.
Goosebumps.
Yes, that was the one with the skeleton, right? The host that was no. It wasn't. That was God, what was that?
That was Tales from the Crypt.
Tales from the Crypt. Thank you. Oh, thank you. It's driving me crazy. I couldn't remember that.
I know the one Aurora's talking about. I'm trying to see if I can find a GIF of it. Because it
Oh, the pool one?
is it is Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Okay, I wasn't
That
sure
was
if
like-
it was.
That was one of the few ones that was genuinely terrifying as a kid, just because of like that one part. To be real,
So, I remember us talking about this a while ago. But yeah, so what card game are we playing, and what
We're
are the
waiting
rules?
for Kyle to come back.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And then we'll roll some d20s, do a few
Hell yeah.
rounds. Do I need to come up with rules for cheating? Does anyone want to try to cheat?
No, I'll play it straight.
Right. I mean, if you did, I assume just like sleight of hand and re-roll a d20. But I don't know what we'd do. Like,
definitely
odd.
come up with a rule,
I'm
but mainly just so I'll keep an eye out to see if they cheat. Because if they cheat, he'll cheat, but if they don't, he won't.
Okay, that's fair.
All right, Kyle, what game is Nick teaching everybody?
Poker.
Oh no.
Perfect, so it's the best game for strip poker.
All right. Well,
Exactly.
if you don't mind, I know a very, very fun iteration of this. We call it Feywild Poker. Or Feywild Hold'em is what I'll call it. Just Texas Hold'em. He goes, do you mind?
Sure.
I mean, sure.
All right. So I'll start dealing out the cards, get the start of the river going. Let's go ahead and do this. Everybody roll a d20 to GM.
Oh boy. So it's /R.
GR, I think.
Yeah,
Or-
/GR.
Oh, /GR.
It's almost like my fingers were in the wrong place. Yeah.
1d20.
1d20. Okay.
As you get the cards in your hand dealt to you, you look down at them. You look down at the few cards that have been dealt out. Does everyone know how to play Texas Hold'em roughly?
Roughly
Not really.
and no.
So poker, you're trying to make a set of hands, cards that match like a specific set. For Texas Hold'em, you get 2 cards, and there is what's called the river in front of you. I don't know the specific terms of a lot of it, but it starts with 3 cards there, and then 1 more card gets dealt into it as the bets go around, and then another card gets dealt into it as the bets go around. And you make your hand by combining your 2 cards with any 3 cards from the middle. So what your d20 roll looks like to you guys is the cards that you have in your hand lining up to what's on the table and how good of a hand that would be. So as the...
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna ask, so like the higher we roll, the better
better
we have.
standing you're
Okay.
Yeah, the better things are kind of working out in your favor with what has come out onto the table as well as what you have in your hand. Let's see, how do I want to do? You can then, if you want, because I'm going to make this up from this part on, because I think it would be fun. You can trade in a card to roll 2 d10s. The first number subtracts from your total. The second number adds to your total. If you wanted to do that, like trading the cards out as the numbers come out. But in the end, it's going to be this kind of like sum of your score.
Okay.
And we want it to equal just the highest number, or?
Yeah, it's just getting the number as high as possible. So just so that you guys can know, as we go around, we'll deal it all out. Harrow and Bastille look down at their cards and start to like assess what they have versus what's in the river. Neither one really gives away anything on their face, but as you look around, a few of you have reacted in ways. I heard one of you. So it's up to you whether or not, and as everyone kind of sizes everyone up, he'll put one more card out and be like, all right, does anybody want to trade any of their cards in? I'm personally going to trade one of mine and take another one. So he'll roll his 2d10, and Archie will subtract the first and add the second. And you see he tucks one card into the discard pile, draws another one into his hand. Doesn't really make any like facial expressions. He seems to have a pretty good control over it. Harrow will do
Fey poker face.
the same.
Good Fey poker face.
But as he takes the card from the pile, having returned Harrow returning his to the discard, he'll take one from the draw pile, and you hear.
Yeah, I'm
Me too.
Same.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds like things are going great for everybody.
Yeah, right.
Aerith, you trading any out?
I'll stay.
Okay. The next one will come around, and we'll put one more card out in, so we have all 5 down on the table. So we'll have another round of possible trades. Both Archie and Harrow are going to trade out again because neither of their first ones were good. Okay.
Same.
As funny as it is where I am right now, I probably should.
I almost had a repeat of your first one.
All right. So, as we show our hands, let's go ahead and everyone can type out their final number. Let's see. Archie made it out with a 21. And Harrow has a 0.
Alright, now, I don't feel as bad because I had a 6.
Oh, there you go. Oh, there you go.
I rolled a 5 on the first double tens, 2 7s, and on the second it was a 5 and a 6. So I got one hole added.
I rolled for Archie. He initially rolled a 14, and then I rolled a 9 and an 8. Oh no, sorry. His was a 7 and a 1. And no, Harrow's was the 7 and a 1 because he had
It's just
yeah, his was just a 0. What about our other crew? Ken, Aerith.
I was at 0 until I got to -2.
Okay.
So, I started with a 9.
Mm-hmm.
First 2d10, 3 and a 6, stuck at 9. And then did another 2d10. It's a 9 and a 1. So
Yeah.
I only got.
Yep. That sounds
Yep.
about right.
I mean, sometimes that's how it goes.
I mean, I just had 18 the entire time.
Yeah. Earth rolled
I
a
had-
natural 20.
Yeah. I rolled a natural 20.
Hey.
Yeah. But as
Hell yeah.
I think it works because like as the river came out, it changed the game, so you had to trade cards to get it. So that was I think that worked out well. As Archie reveals that as the last card came out, it completed his full house of essentially aces over kings, which unfortunately for Aerith, while you had 4 of a kind queens, it was just short of being a better hand than his. And so he collects the cards up and goes, there! And see, in this case, I would be able to ask you, my darling, a question, which you would have to answer, if we were playing for bets, of course.
That we were playing for bets.
Is that where we ended? I couldn't remember.
Yeah.
We made the bet. We just could.
That's right.
The one condition was not asking names.
No names, that's right. Sorry. I gotta think of a question now. I really wanted to be in the middle on both my guys, like, every time.
Well, let's just chalk this up as a practice round.
I'll find a question. I'll think of something. It's just, I know what you know of yourself, so...
Is this a good hand, though? Did I win?
No.
Unfortunately. They are all pretty, but none of those numbers are the same or the same color as each other. What do you think of the world you've seen so far? From the trials and tribulations that I've seen you have endured to the beauty of this place here. What do you think of the worlds?
I love the worlds. I think they're super cool, and everyone in it is so cool and awesome. And my friends are awesome, and it's also very dangerous.
Everything is
'Cause we-
Sorry.
We honestly, since I kind of joined them, and it's been a lot of fighting and a lot of pain.
And you still believe the worlds are good and beautiful?
Yeah.
Good. Alright then, next round. Shuffles up all the cards, deals them out. Roll me a d20.
/GR 1d20.
Okay, alrighty. And... need one from Nick.
I already forgot how. /GR.
I just said it.
I keep no, because then I typed as 1d like /1 roll d20 afterwards, and it wasn't going through. And are you kidding me?
Alright, first rounds of trades as the 4th card hits the table.
D10.
Yeah. Modify your roll by 2d10s. Down
Good.
and up.
Great.
To public.
It's fine.
Oops.
If Mia wants to do that way.
Oops. That's just when like your poker face slips for a second and we get to see somebody react. That's what happens.
No, she just
You want to
drops the
hide-
cards.
You need to hide your cards, dear.
Oh, right. Okay.
All right. let me
I'll do a. I hate playing these games. Okay.
Okay. 3, 4, and any trades for Nick?
No.
Okay, keeping what you got. All right, final round of d10s.
Okay, so you said the 2d10 is
The first one
adding to the
subtracts
total?
from your subtracts from your total, and the
Uh-huh.
second one adds. So you want that first one lower and the second one higher.
okay.
Great.
All right.
Representing the card you're putting back and
Great.
how valuable it was versus the card you pull and how valuable it is.
I'm doing so good, guys.
I'm gonna try. Oh wait, that's 2d10. Okay.
Okay. All right, everybody go ahead and calculate out your final numbers. It should be pretty easy because the only things you can see are the ones you've
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was trying to outdo Mia, and I wasn't quite capable.
Aw. Almost.
I rolled a nat 1 on the first the
Oh, no.
D20.
Yeah, I rolled a 5, and then you guys saw my second one, so that went well.
I have had those games of poker, man. Ken?
God.
Nice.
Hey.
Hey.
Ace. All right. So as Ken's hand hits the table, a winning set of like a pair of jacks and queens, but the rest of the table being pretty low as far as the scores went. Ken, you get to ask Oni a question.
Well, shit. I wasn't really thinking of them.
Anything you want to know about Oni?
Where did you, I guess, develop your initial fighting style? I was very curious about it when we first met.
My initial fighting style is actually from where I was born. I was raised, as you know, not to my like pride or anything, but in the cult of the dragon with my family, and they favored fencing. I guess they wanted to play into the stereotypes of elves pretty strongly, but I had a better knack with my hands, so when I couldn't really put together the same sort of dexterity they used with a rapier, I sort of had to develop it myself and start from square one, self-taught, essentially.
Oh,
That is impressive. Teach one's self their own martial art.
It was not a pretty sight, I will say. the early years, and I must stress years, were spent taking quite a beating.
Do so well now. You punch so many times. He punches so many times.
I can believe it. All right then. Good question. Good answer. Another round.
Again.
All right. Let's go ahead and get the starters
I can
going.
do it this time.
I mean, I'm enjoying this. So as long as you guys want to keep doing this, I'm good.
And I want to keep learning more things about people.
And that's
This is
what's
awesome.
fun, right? It's fun positing questions like that to each other.
I swear to God, if I get the same one again.
Other things you can do: insights versus deceptions to see how the rest of the party's doing, or sleight of hands if you wanted to try to do that, but that would also be
Cheating.
well, it would be, and you would have to pass everybody's passive perceptions, which Oni's is 25.
Yeah, but he said if anybody else cheats, he'll just cheat too. So
That's true.
if he catches you, whatever, but he's gonna cheat
Judgment,
too.
yeah, judgment-free zone. If you want to cheat, feel free.
But he will
He'll
cheat and
probably do it
cheat
better.
better than you.
All right. First round of cards comes out. Everybody is able to look down at their hands, assess what they have versus what hit the table. Fourth card hits the table. Anybody trading anything?
I'll
These ones
trade.
at least match.
Yes.
Yes.
Ooh.
No.
Look, Archie, they're the same color.
You
Damn it, I have to
still
do
don't
that.
want to show me. Yeah.
They're the same color.
All right. And
Very helpful.
3, 4. Cool. All right. That's everybody. So, fifth card hits the table, changes the game up a little bit, and the last trades happen. Oh no.
I stay.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay here. My luck. The last two games have shown me anything.
That is fair. All right. Well, when everybody is ready, go ahead and post your final numbers.
I still ended up with the same number.
You did.
Mia, you got better.
I did. And then one of my negatives, I rolled a 10.
A tie. It's fine. No one can lose worse than Harrow did. It's fine.
Oh no.
Oh,
Oh, Harrow.
Harrow.
As he puts out a hand that is literally just 2s, 4s, 5. It's like 2, 4, 5, 6, and then a king. And he looks over at Archie, and Archie looks up at him. He goes, "I was trying to get this straight." Aerith and Oni, your hands essentially are a tie here. So let's do this. You guys will both draw one more card. Roll a d10 for the winner. Okay. That was impressive. Aerith, what question do you have for
Oh
Harrow?
shit!
I don't need to tell you what Oni rolled because there's only one.
It sounds like he rolled a 2.
He got a 2.
Holy shit! Wow. Okay.
The suit of armor with the shadowed face that you have never seen before kind of turns slowly towards you, and the slits in the front of the helmet lock in on your face.
Actually, player question: have we actually seen him without his helmet?
No. And no.
I don't
No.
think we've been able to see inside of his helmet either. It's
Yeah,
just been
you-
like darkness.
Just shadow. It looks like his entire face is covered in shadow. The only thing you can see are his ears, which kind of poke out from beyond the sides of the helmet. But
I
his
feel
entire
like-
face is blank.
I feel like if I ask him what his face looks like, he'll just take off his helmet and it'll just be censored with shadow. Just to get out of the question. What is your favorite place here in the Feywild?
Kind of sits back in his seat. Let's see. The mountains south of Hollowhaim. My home.
Okay.
I'm sorry, he doesn't talk very much.
Is that on the map that Archie gave us? Do we know where that
No.
is? No. Okay.
You could ask if you wanted.
To see it on the map?
I mean, you could
Or
ask
if you
them
would-
about it. But it wasn't included on the map. It's further away than that. The map was just
Okay.
sort of like surrounding areas.
Is that super far away?
Looks over at Archie, who just sort of like shrugs. I asked 2 questions. The mountain range north of here serves as the border between Brokenstone Vale and the Fen of Winter. Hollowhaim is at the northern side of the mountain range and protects the Fen from any that may try to come through this route.
Neat.
It is further away than Astrazalian, where we are heading tomorrow.
Okay.
Well then, another hand?
More.
And if you guys want, it's up to you. You just tell me when we're good. I'm going with whatever the group wants to be doing right now. So
I will never be satisfied, so just so you know.
that's why I'm positing it to the rest of the group, because I know as soon as we get into games like this, and it could be something like, you guys just play for the rest of the day, and we can kind of narratively just fade till it's evening time, where you can get your fancy clothes and go to the circus and kind of get ready for everything.
Yeah. I think it's just montage the games.
Okay.
Or that's my vote anyway.
Yeah, I say montage. Montage!
Can we play
3
one more?
Alright.
Oh,
One more and then we
Jesus.
montage.
Fine, one more.
Welcome
Then
to my life,
montage.
everyone.
Hey, you decided on this.
Oh man.
Did you roll the same again, Kyle?
Am I allowed to use my lucky dice?
It's a roll of the d20, and it would be something that could be considered lucky. So absolutely,
Cheating.
it's not
Hey,
cheating.
you should pick up the feat then. I could also use my portents
You could.
Right. Could fuck
if they
off.
were any good.
You
But they're
guys
not.
over.
As you guys are each dealt out a card, one lands kind of in front of Nick, but then Aerith grabs it. Initially, Nick had thought it was for him, but it wasn't. Another one gets thrown out to Nick.
Yeah, you don't want that card.
Let's
Yeah.
see. So
Thanks.
this was the start. of that. Okay. All right. So as we've gone through round 1, 4th card hits the table. Let's do round 2. Any d10s?
Yeah, might as well.
Modify.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh.
Man.
Man.
Yeah. Alrighty. And then final round of d10s.
Man. It keeps getting worse.
I feel it, man. I feel it. Okay. Alright. And
Math sucks.
nice.
Too bad I can't use lucky on
Oni.
the details.
Hey.
Mia, look at Mia. Holy
Right, I
shit.
got a like higher positive number. Oh no.
Aerith.
I started with a freaking 5,
Yeah.
and then I rolled a 10 and a 4,
Uh-huh.
and then I rolled a 9 and a 3.
Yes.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
man. All right.
Jesus. I know what to call this episode.
Hell yeah.
Feywild Texas Hold'em.
Yeah. Dude, I am gonna write down the rules for this after because this is fun.
I like this. This is fun.
This has been fun. All right, so as the final card hits the table, you guys trade out the cards you have in your hand. Your final hand is ready. You put it down on the table. It is a clear, decided victory for Oni, whose hand just. It's a beautiful thing that matches with the river in front of him. Aerith, unfortunately, not as lucky this time round. So the rest of the table turns to Oni. See what question he has for his companion.
I'm just gonna ask because he doesn't have a super good relationship with his parents, because of the whole cult thing. How he's taking the situation with his mom currently. Like, genuine feelings. How are you feeling about what's happening?
I feel like shit, and I wish it never happened, and it will probably change a lot of things about me.
For the better?
I give a bombastic side eye to Mia.
She'll be fine.
It's
I
just the
promise.
fact that she was in this situation to begin with.
Sometimes that stuff happens, right? Especially with
No.
all the people we have to fight.
You would think there'd be a line that's never crossed.
I don't think that the people that we fight don't cross lines like that.
How about another hand? Let's get another game going. Okay, here we go. We'll cut to a little bit of gray as we narratively skip to this evening. A few more truths told. Archie never loses. He doesn't cheat. Oni keeps a good eye on him, and he never even makes any sort of motion, but he never loses. So he doesn't answer any questions. If you guys want, I'll give you 2 more questions for Harrow. So if there's any more information you want to get from
he does
him,
real bad.
because he does real bad all day long.
Probably know why Archie's doing so well.
Balance.
Balance.
I guess Mia will ask him if she ever wins.
Sure.
But yeah, she'll. So, why are you guys always together? I never see you apart, and you're coming with us to the circus too, like, because he said that he's going, so that means you're going?
He's going, so I am going. He looks down. Archie saved my life once upon a time. Gave me purpose, direction, meaning. My life is dedicated to him. You could see Archie kind of like puts his head down and shakes it just a little bit. I keep telling you to just live your own. This is the life I choose.
Is it fun?
It is rewarding.
That's like fun, right?
Kind of. The helmet moves a little bit. He doesn't really answer. It just sort of like tilts a little to the side and then back. It makes life meaningful.
Which is fun.
Yes, of course. It's having meaning to one's life, fulfillment, dedication, a purpose to pursue. It's nothing but fun, of course. All right, next round. And anybody else have any questions for him?
Do you have any regrets?
He takes a deep breath. From underneath the helmet, there's like this kind of like rattling sound. None that I haven't dealt with already. My path has led me here. And he tilts his head, and I would not want to be anywhere else. As you guys wrap up your card games for the day, evening sets in. Archie claps his hands. Well, let's go get your garments for the gala and then go check out this circus.
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
Are you coming with us to the tailor as well?
Why not?
Or-
I
Yes.
want to see
You gotta
all...
see what you're getting.
Yeah, I want to see you all dressed up because they're gonna have to fit them onto you to make sure that they all fit correctly and serve the correct aesthetic. And I couldn't pass that up. So let's go and see what they've whipped up for you. And
So
I will
excited.
Head over to right. And as you walk in, you can see the they're so small.
Just a little guy.
They're just little
Just a bunch
guys,
of
'cause they're
They're just a bunch of silly little guys.
Right?
half-size tokens. There is much more fabric, all just strewn about, little strips of it here and there of multiple different colors, blues, some of like the like shimmering kind of platinum colored fabric that they were using for Ken's outfit as well. And as you step in through the door, Sal looks up from where he's working and goes, "Oh, perfect timing! We had just finished putting in, well, not the last stitch, but close. Come on in, come on in, come on in. And our patron is here as well. Wonderful, wonderful." And Archie just sort of like smiles. The two blink puppies are still wrestling around upstairs. You can hear them scrabbling, but it looks like the trap door down has now been...
I am too.
My bad.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
The trap door down has now been like latched, and the puppies aren't coming down here anymore.
Just scratching at the door there. It's like,
Yeah. But he'll kind of go, "Okay, so who wants to try theirs on first?"
Sure, I will.
No,
Sorry.
no, go ahead.
Okay.
Very good, very good. All right, Kira. Right, all right. I've got yours here. All right, come on over here in the back room, and we'll get you all changed up. She takes you in, closes the curtains. There's about 5 minutes, some light conversation. Aerith, you don't get poked by any needles. She's far too good for that. But there is a little bit of apprehension about having someone so close with something so sharp, because you fight a lot and your defenses are very like instinctual. So your desire to keep yourself from any harm at all is almost reflexive. And she keeps having to like pat you on the back. It's like, it's okay. Just relax. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. No. Totally get it. Okay, so we'll go ahead and adjust this here. Pin this right here. I'll have to stitch this up. Won't take me more than a minute. Okay. And if you want to share with everybody what yours looks like now. As Aerith steps out with the, like, almost... to me, it looks like a bodysuit in the image, right?
Essentially, yeah.
Yeah, so what they've done is
add
they've...
more patterns to it, but I forgot.
She actually really enjoys it because she thinks it adds a really nice kind of dichotomy to what you're seeing. This pure, almost Vanta black jumpsuit underneath that goes out across Aerith's hands down to the fingertips and like kind of forms a half glove around his hands, and then down into boots that are designed with the same kind of material and look like they blend into it. But if you look close enough, you can see the seam. It's not like it's a big jumpsuit. Over top, a nice rainbow colored kind of kimono tucked together and tied up and pinned in certain places just to keep it flowing and elegant. And as Aerith kind of steps out and spins around, there's this light shimmer of color within the rainbow weave of almost like an opalescence. What do you think?
That was great, Aerith.
Thanks.
It's so pretty.
Been working on it for a while. Wasn't even sure if I'd even be able to wear something like this.
I think you pull it off spectacularly, my dear. Oh, this is just so wonderful. All right, go stand over there. You next. Sal kind of grabs Ken. Yes, I put a lot of work into yours. It's very impressive. Come on back here. Let's get you all set up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Another 5 minutes or so. There aren't as many pins being put in place, Ken, so you don't feel as intruded upon as somebody who's actually had the suit fitted. They don't really have to do that as much. But it is tight, and you can see why he had to be so precise with the measurements. There's a little bit of like elastic.
Yeah, I was like, I did request this to be form-fitting, but jeez.
I figured, but I also know that in galas you'll be dancing and perusing and eating. So if you do a light round of stretches, don't overdo it. But the fabric itself has a little bit of elasticity in it, so it should bend and move with you, and that way you don't have to worry about ripping it if, say, you have to run away from something.
It's like he knows.
Right.
And he just gives you like a smile. Now let's go show your friends.
All right.
Curtain is thrown wide, and Ken steps out in a beautiful, sleek platinum suit that is lined with this kind of shimmering fabric that from a distance looks like scales. The coat itself falls into like two tails on the back, and there's a chain across the chest linking both sides of the upper part of the suit. Beneath is this kind of deep steelish blue vest that accents and augments against the grays and platinums of Ken's attire. The goggles still there, and as he turns around, you can see on the back the insignia of the FBI that he had drawn up on his own, the First Brood Industries that would one day help protect the Sword Coast.
So cool.
So
The FBI.
Okay. Sal kind of jumps past him and goes, okay, you stay right here. Come here. And grabs Mia just by the hand and drags you
okay.
wholesale back. And Kira goes, you're going to need my help with this one. Hold on. And they both come back here, and she gets up on the chair. They pull the curtain close. They take off your current dress, which is your armor and the only clothes you have. They kind of take away the different aspects of it and tuck it away off to the side in the same place that they've been putting the rest of your companions' clothing.
I don't need armor.
And they kind of like pull this very elegant looking dress down across and over the top of your head. And Aerith, go ahead and show the image. I'm going to tell you what they changed about it, because it's not as flamboyant as this. The dress itself is like, it's kind of poofy on the shoulders, and then the sleeves are sleek to your arms before they bow out just like that into these large kind of floofy
They're called bell sleeves.
bell sleeves. Thank you. I didn't know that. The dress itself is the same color as Ken's vest, and has that same kind of shimmering. I know there's a word for it because there is a fabric that actually does it. Like, it's almost like chrome, whereas you look at it from different angles, it changes color. Yeah. It's just a little iridescent. The biggest difference here is that the dress goes all the way down to the floor. So as they pull it down over you, it falls down to the floor in this elegant, like, outward bow that comes out from around your hips and hits the ground, and you kind of like kick it around, and your old dress went pretty far down, but it didn't touch all the way on the ground like this one did, and so walking might be a little bit more cumbersome, depending on, like, you'd have to hitch the dress up. And they didn't include a hat. That was the other thing that they felt that your hair.
Yeah, I wasn't worried about that.
being this kind of almost magic in and of itself, flowing of iridescent locks. They wanted to do nothing to draw away from the beauty that is your own lock of hair. And as you finally get all set up, situated in it, that, like I said, it's the same kind of deepish blue color that Ken's vest has. And as they pull the curtains wide, Kira will step out in, kind of just like usher Ken back just ever so slightly. And Ken looks over at Mia, and that is the face you see. As Mia steps through the curtain, Sal kind of holding the bottom of the bell skirt up just so that she doesn't step on it for her as you walk out in the first new
so
outfit
swooshy.
you've ever had.
I'll go up to her and I'll be like, okay, so how you're gonna walk in this is that you're just gonna gently lift it from the sides in front of you, so you don't, step on the dress and fall on your face.
Okay.
Just like this, dear. Just a little bit off the ground, from here and here.
Okay. Just pull it up just a little bit.
Now,
I still can't move my legs very well. Is that
Kind of the
normal?
point.
that's unfortunately
Oh.
part of it. However, and he looks over at Kira, and he looks past Kira at Archie, who's been just like leaned back against the door with Harrow next to him, watching all of this. The map is so small because it's a gnome house. Watching all of this with a smile, he looks past and goes, "And in the anticipation of expedited necessity, just where I told you to grab, if you just pull apart and back." You kind of like look down and you can see the seams. They look look fine, but he kind of like motions at him, and it'll tear away, and you won't have anything to encumber your legs beyond the stockings and boots that you're wearing underneath. So
Okay.
if you find yourself needing to run, just rip it off.
That seems like a lot of fun. But only if I need to.
We're just trying to think ahead, you know?
Did
Just
So
you
Right
mix 'em up.
just invent tearaway pants and dresses?
Just invent. This is the Feywild. They've
A
had
wait,
tearaway
cut
pants forever.
skirt is a lifesaver.
Hey, that's it. Like, they wanted to make sure Ken could move for the same reason. Aerith presented them with a design that had plenty of movement in it already, so they didn't really need to augment yours, but they wanted to make sure you could move, just in case.
Right.
There's a reason he suggested these tailors.
That's
Alright, you two stand over there. I just want to see. Oh, look at that. That's just so beautiful. Oh my god. They're just so lovely.
Careful.
Alright, let's get let's get you guys over here and get you guys all situated, and he'll go over and grab Nick. Pull Nick in. Kira will grab. Well, there's really only one back room, so there's only one place to change. So after about 5 minutes of waiting, you guys kind of like getting used to the feel and the weight of the dresses, the suits. It doesn't carry the same as your battle armor, or especially like just mundane clothes. There's a little bit more resistance. And Mia, your dress is definitely heavier than your other one was.
Right.
But as you kind of just get used to it, Nicholas
I'm like,
steps
I would
out.
probably just go up to her and just start giving her tips of like how to walk, how to hold it when dancing, and things like that.
Oh yeah, sounds good. That noble training.
Yes.
Neat. I don't know how to dance, but okay.
Don't worry, it's mainly the man's job.
Okay.
Yeah, Ken.
Crap.
It's mainly the man's job.
Perhaps we should have some lessons, Ken. Or William, my dear friend William. He did say William. He does not know your name. Like, legitimately. That was a slip on my side.
Better than nothing.
Very good.
Tony, do you know how to
what's in your
dance?
schedule?
I'm pretty light on my feet. I think I can manage.
Okay. I go by Oni's Fae name, not his. Sorry.
I
I can't remember everyone's
just
name.
will assume that we're using the right
Yeah.
ones.
This is William, Annalise, Elf, No, well, no. Was it?
I
It
think it was
wasn't elf.
Wanderer.
It was
It
wanderer.
was Wander. It was Wander.
Yeah.
And gnome.
He-
It was gnome.
He was
the
gnome, yeah.
And then
That
And then
was
yours
Arcus.
was Arcus, yeah.
Arcus. That was it. Yep. All right. As the curtain once again draws open, you see as Nick walks out, looking taller than he has in the past. His robes now tucked away back in the back room here. Kind of, they've been putting them in like a wooden box crate, kind of just piling them on top of each other so you guys can take your clothes with you, or put these in the box on the way out. Either way. But he steps out wearing a really nice kind of loose, not loose fitting, but looser than Ken's full piece suit, shirt, vest, overcoat, tall hat, all this like deepish blue color that is kind of in that same vein as the blue that Mia and Ken are wearing, but without the metallic shine to it. It's more of like a sea blue or a little bit of a green in it, with red accenting around the edges of the sleeves and inside of the coat itself.
Still a shame we didn't get the first one you linked.
I feel like that's something Scan and Shorthalt would have worn.
As you step out, Sal kind of like pulls on your shoulders, tucks things a bit into place, and goes, "How does it feel? Does it seem like it's fitting correctly?"
Yes, it seems fit well. It's been a while since I've worn a suit, but it fits well.
It looks quite good on you, I have to say. All right, then he adjusts the hat just a little bit. Perfect. Okay. Last but not least, for sure. Kira steps forward and grabs Oni by the hand. We had a lot of fun with yours. It was very interesting finding a way to keep that coat attached. It's the last thing you hear as they step behind the curtain. A few minutes pass as Oni is disarmored and re-armored before he finally steps out
And see.
with again, some small modifications. It's not a one-piece suit, but it is more form-fitting than Nicholas's. Closer to like how Ken's was. It's a black suit with a black shirt, or a black vest, red tie over a white shirt, and the coat pretty much matching the aesthetic of his colors already. This kind of like whitish gray overcoat that is draped over his shoulders, and then across the front of it, similar to the chain that Ken has on his jacket, is another one, much larger and kind of more
More for form than appearance.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
Thank you. It's
function than
exactly.
appearance.
It's more function than form. Thank you.
Yeah.
This kind of like thicker chain that holds the two sides of the jacket together as it's draped over his shoulders, and you can see his hands free. The small bracers that he uses as his weapons that you've seen still on, but tucked beneath these like loose kind of. It's like the collar of the sleeve is popped open. They're open on one side, enough that he can move his arms really freely and maintain access to his tools.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
You all look spectacular. I got to say, this is incredible. Kira, Sal, you have outdone yourselves once again. Please make your requests to the Morning Wood. I'll see to any needs that you might have. Sal goes, we pulled an all-nighter for this one, Archie. We'll be making sure you compensate us adequately. And he just smiles and nods. Wouldn't expect any less. Well, do we want to wear our fancy clothes to the circus, or shall we get changed back into our normal attire and keep these safe and sound for now?
Let's change
Should-
back so we don't
Keep
get
them
dirty.
safe and sound.
Probably keep them safe, because I don't think we also want to walk to where we're going in them.
We might draw attention, but who doesn't like to draw attention from time to time? All right,
I do,
Okay.
but my feet already hurt.
that's fair. Yeah, you'll learn to live with it. Okay, go get changed. We'll be here waiting, and then we'll go catch this circus. Actually, he looks over at Harrow. why don't I go get Sunny, and the two of us will meet you there. How's that sound?
Yeah.
All right, very good. See you in 30 minutes.
Yep.
Okay. As he heads out into the city, the rest of you take 10, 20 minutes to get changed back into your normal attire. The clothes feeling a lot more familiar, but obviously more worn out and ragged than what you were just wearing. And you guys head out into the city to head towards the town square where you know the circus troupe will be putting on a performance tonight. And I think that'll be a good place for us to pick up next time.
Correct.
Because I am hungry and I would like to.
Right.
Yes. Good time.
And we got to get everyone fancy suits.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so I caved and showed Aurora last night.
You did? That's not
I
fair.
lit on. I was like, you gotta
First
show
of
at
all,
least
he
one
teased
other
me with
person.
it with a rough draft.
He did that to
so-
me and Gina, but then he sent me the final, and I asked Gina
How
if he
dare
sent her
you.
the final, and she's like, no. And I'm like, well, now
No.
show her the final.
Ken already knew he had to show me the final. Otherwise,
Yeah, yeah, I caved.
You are the fashion man.
I am.
Yeah.
Good. It's so good.
I'm just
Yeah,
glad.
wish
I'm just glad
Wasn't too busy.
you liked yours, Gina, and Earth liked his.
I'm just glad that you chose something for me because I don't know the first thing about dresses or fashion, and I don't fucking know anything about that stuff.
What I really liked about the one you chose for her is that Mia's normal outfit is extremely revealing. It's
Yeah.
not. It doesn't cover a lot. There's not a lot left to the imagination, but by giving her a dress that's more revealing, you've enhanced that inherent sexiness by hiding it. And when you chose that dress, I was like, that's perfect. It from like the collar, the sleeves. The only thing I really wasn't a fan of was the hip skirt, but that's easy to just drop to the ground as a nice long dress, and
Right.
boom. So you got a good eye for it, man.
Yee.
I wish Chekhov wasn't so busy with life that they could draw all of us,
Yeah.
because that would be
Really
awesome.
like-
about that.
I feel like you all put so much effort into finding a nice outfit, and I just typed in fancy gnome.
Fancy gnome.
I really like it though, and I like the like the hat especially adds to it, and the idea of like Nicholas in this like
I don't think
beautifully
I
brilliant blue top hat and
have-
jacket is really nice.
Anything for Nicholas, or at least
Yeah.
not that I can currently find.
I mean, he's
Yep,
just
so,
an old, tiny man, so.
Yeah, so about that, I wish Chekhov could draw all of us.
Did they finish, or okay? I wasn't sure if they did.
Rough draft.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's
The
so
tiny fucking gnome.
Dude, I swear Nick steals the stage every time,
Yeah.
and he's so the way Chekhov draws is so adorable.
It's
Fucking
so
hilarious.
adorable. He's so perfect.
Uh.
They're all so perfect. I can't wait to have it as my new desktop background.
Me too.
Great.
Okay.
No,
I
same
feel like
thing
how the
about the-
moon in the background, it looks like Ken has wings.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. I did not request that of Chekhov at all. They did that, and it's like, oh yeah.
oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so next weekend, my folks and Gina's folks are both going to be here in Lake Havasu City.
Right. So
Both sides of
definitely.
our family getting together for dinner. So
I'm sure it'll be fine.
yeah, we won't be
What's
able
the
to
worst
play
that could
next
happen?
weekend. So we can pick up on, I think it's the 4th, will be the Saturday after next at just our normal time, and go from there. I just wanted to let everyone know ahead of time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go make some fish so that I can make my stomach stop grumbling.
Great.
That was a lot of fun. I love the fuck around in town days. They're so much fun just to
And
screw
us
around.
playing.
That card game was really fun. It
Yeah.
was really.
The card game was amazing, and then with the extra like asking everybody questions thing. That was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I love it. Like I said, if we could just keep going, I would go forever.
I knew you would, and that was why I had to posit it to everyone when it was like another round. You're like, yes, and I was like, I have to make sure everyone's on board with this. But yeah, I'm gonna write those rules down, and you guys can take Feywild Hold'em out into the material plane from 20 years ago. All right, guys. Thank you for joining me on Sunday and adjusting your schedules. That was really cool, and I will catch you guys next time.
Yep.
Yeah.
See ya.